Get your COVID and flu shots for 250, presented by Alex Halinar and Halinar Racing from the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And with the change to the Indy cars in the Formula College Series, we have a treat for you tonight. I'm Sky Shrek from the University of Oklahoma, and I am joined by Edward Sanchez from Baruch College, and we are here to take you through all the action tonight from CIL's first 100-lap race from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Sky, I am so excited tonight. This is going to be the first ever, as you said, right? We're running on the Indy Oval, the most historic landmark in motorsport history. And, well, tonight I cannot wait to watch 36 fast drivers go around 3 wide, 2 wide, and maybe even 5 wide. I mean, who knows what's going to happen tonight? And I'm super excited.
Yeah, there's going to be some sends on the apron for sure coming out of that pit lane. It's going to be something to watch. We're all very excited here. All the drivers have been excited. Everybody, when we saw the schedule came out, pretty much circled this race on the calendar. This was the one that everybody wanted to be at. Everybody wanted to win. And this is the one that I think we've had the biggest crowd for in terms of drivers as well. It's going to be a really exciting race tonight. It's something that we have been looking forward to for months now since the schedule got announced, and we are so excited to bring it to you here. We're finishing up practice right now, but we'll get qualifying, we'll get you the warm-up, and we'll get you out there for the start of the Get Your COVID and Flu Shots 250 presented by Alex Halinar.
Yeah, and it's one thing to really note tonight is, I think maybe it's a little bit too early to call this one, but this is, I believe, the crown jewel of CIL. One of the crown jewel races that we're going to have in the CIL FC, but in general, I think in all of CIL series. So it's going to be really interesting to see who is going to be the winner and who is going to be the loser tonight. And as you were saying, yeah, it looks like practice is going to be up in a few, and we're going to have qualifying going. But right now, top of the charts I'm looking at right now, and of course, it could be a little bit skewed because, you know, drafting and whatnot, is the car 321 of Alex Frenetti. He has a 39.612. So for Alex, it's a strong night for him.
Yeah, let's take a look at our point standings right now. Our top 10 in the points coming into this race. We're going to take a look at this. Our Muhammad Alif is currently your points leader, with Clint Halterman of UNC Charlotte in second. Ryan Whitlock currently third, with Jordan Johnson in fourth, and Cale Davidson in fifth.
And in sixth, it's going to be Walker Green, and for RU Bern University, 96 points. Ben Fiore, 7th place for Marist College, 94 points. Jay Cummings, MPA for Converse University with 87 points. Charles Wembley at 9th for Guilford College with 85. And to round about our top 10 in points, Cohen Evans.
We got one more for you here. P11. Lucas Moody of Ball State University. And speaking of Lucas Moody, we actually got him up in the booth right here. We're gonna call Lucas Moody up into the booth. How you doing? Oh, he's not in the booth. He didn't. That Discord did not work. All right.
I think Lucas is right now. He's still with.
Yeah,
his
he's stuck in the
guys.
elevator. Is what we're at right now. But we're getting him up here. Yeah, we're waiting to get him up in the booth here. We're having some elevator technical difficulties, as we have had a couple times here at the CIL before, and he is here. What's up, Lucas?
Sorry about that. I was having trouble with which voice call I should have joined.
Well, you're here now, and that's all that matters. Are you excited for this race tonight? I know this is kind of a home race for you and a lot of the Ball State guys in this series, being from Indiana. Does that make this a little more exciting for you?
It does, yeah. We've been practicing a lot for this race. A lot of us have a lot of experience with the Indy Oval, not just going to it in person, but also doing the Indy, like the 40-lap Indy race that we did at the Delar factory. So we are all very excited for this race. We cannot wait for it to get started.
That's very exciting, Lucas. And I got one quick question for you tonight. Moody Missile, you've heard that nickname here and there in the CIL Discord. Your thoughts on tonight and maybe becoming a missile tonight to get through first place? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? And how do you take it with that name?
I'll be attempting not to missile anybody, but if there is a back marker in my way, or if there's someone in my way I want to get past, they might need to watch their left side. But I probably won't be missing anybody tonight. I'll drive nice and safe. 100 lap race, can't win on lap 1, so lap 95 you might see me start getting a little more aggressive, but don't expect too many dumb moves anytime sooner than that.
Yeah, how do you think the aggression is going to kind of ramp up towards the end of this race? Like, I'd imagine at the start of the race, the Ball State guys won't be wanting to, like, cannibalize each other too much, but how do you think that's going to change as you head into, like, the last 10 laps, last 5 laps, and eventually for the win?
Yeah, of course, those Ball State cars, we always have a game plan going into a race. So basically, until the last couple laps, we're going to be playing team games. We're going to be playing it safe. And then, of course, last couple laps, you know, if we're able to without sacrificing too much time to the cars behind, yeah, fight for position, really. I only can hope other cars do the same and that we're not sending it 3 wide into lap 1 or 3 wide. 3 wide lap 1 to 50 probably just shouldn't happen, but it probably will. But we just got to kind of hope we keep our nose clean, really.
Do you have anyone you want to shout out on the broadcast tonight?
Of course, I'm going to shout out my family, my brother Andrew, all my teammates here at Ball State, Oval, and Road. Alif, Kale, Dylan, and Nick are driving tonight, so wish them very good luck. I'm going to shout out Dan and BK for running the program here at Ball State Esports. I'm going to shout out Vortex and Overton Setup Shop. And I believe that's everybody.
All right, thank you so much for your time here before the race, Lucas Moody.
Yes, thank you.
All right, and he mentioned kind of the that he has some road guys and some oval guys in this race for Ball State, and that's a trend pretty much throughout the field. Some drivers that are more prolific in the road series are here tonight. Jordan Johnson, always a threat to win in these road races. Guys like him, Adrian Tubakovic, Alexander Diamond, who we really only see in the CIL road races. But we've also got some guys coming over from the oval side to do this one. Nick Stockner is here. He's more known for his oval driving. John Hagan making his first start in CIL Formula College after winning 3 oval races so far this season. A lot of guys from the oval side coming over the road side, and a lot of guys from road trying to master the oval tonight.
Yeah, and I'd like to add 2 more to those lists. We got Garrett Weitzen. He's currently also making his 3rd CIL FC debut, as well as it looks like Brandon Schulenberger. He's going to also make his 2nd CIL FC debut. So yeah, you see a lot of these guys, you know, they're like, it's the Indy Oval. What hard can that be? Well, it is going to be a tough cookie to crack, I will say, but I mean, what are your picks, Sky? I gotta ask now, like, what are the CIL ones to watch or CIL picks of the night? Because mine, I'm gonna say right now, Sias, but I'll go first. I'm gonna have to go with my man Brandon. I mean, I feel like he's a dark horse for tonight. You know, not a lot of people are expecting him much, but you know, I feel like he definitely has the oval experience on us. Yes, I should reiterate, Brandon Schulenberger. He's definitely going to be one to watch because I think that on the oval side, he has that experience. And I've also ran with him over the summer in official races, and he was doing a lot of Indy Oval starts, as well as, you know, ARCA on Indy Oval. But just having this track experience might just help him out. Of course, right now he's currently on really practicing his qualifying. Oh, and a little bit of expertise on getting around wrecked cars, and I think that's what we're going to be looking at tonight, is going to see how great these drivers are going to get around the wrecks. But yeah, so my pick is going to be Brandon.
Me personally, I'm looking more towards the top of the point standings for our points leader, Muhammad Alif. I think he's got a really good shot at this one tonight for a couple reasons. One, he's probably or he's consistently one of the best road racers in CIL. He wins a lot of cup races on road. He wins a lot of Formula College races. I mean, he's our points leader so far this season. So I think Muhammad Alif is a really good shot tonight. And if you look, he made the Final 4 last season in oval. So he's not just a great road driver, but he's someone who can carry those skills over into oval racing as well. And at Ball State, it's his home race tonight. So I think he's got a good advantage coming into this one.
I will say that is a very safe sounding bet. I mean, if we did gambling, we'd have the odds up, but we don't do that. It's not allowed. So all we're gonna say is it's 2-to-1 odds, right? It's 2-to-1 odds. Brandon odds is gonna be like maybe 1,000 to 1. So hey, you know what? I'm gonna make some nice iRacing credits tonight, but yeah. So it looks like we got 7 minutes left of practice, and I will say one person to also note is Clint Halterman. He's currently second fastest in practice. Like I said, the times could be skewed through toe and through drafting, but Clint Halterman, I mean, he hasn't won yet this season, right? So he's still looking for his first win of the season, and he's always been so close to the podium many times. He's finishing fourth. He was still the alumni winner, but you know, it's one thing to finish in the podium and it's another thing to be told, yeah, you won. Here's a podium kind of interview. So I know that he has the tenacity to get through tonight and try to actually not only be on the podium, but win it. So that's also another person to watch. But Sky, I wanted to ask you, have you driven this course on this beautiful Dallara R18?
Oh yeah, I've done the iRacing Indy 500. I've done some officials, some of those like C-class IndyCar Oval officials on this thing. It's a ton of fun. I mean, it's a ton of fun in real life, but it's really a ton of fun in these cars. It's just the classic combo, not just on iRacing, but like Indy 500's classic race in real life too. It's probably, I'm gonna say, the biggest race in the world, and if you can fight me on that, but yeah, this is the big one for not just this series, but for CIL. I think we're in for a good one tonight. You mentioned Clint Halterman, second place on the charts there for UNC Charlotte. I want to look one spot above because it's two UNC Charlotte cars locking out the front row. We got Alex Finnerty first in practice, Clint Halterman in second, Wyatt Burton, the rookie's actually in third right now, with Jake Cummings in fourth and Ricky Paz in fifth.
But in sixth place, you see there the number 82, Robbie Hotchkiss, also a CILFC rookie, and behind him, well known, Ryan Whitlock, the number 81 in seventh, the Moody Missile in 8th place, Marlo Duncan in 9th, and Cohen Evans in 10th. And Sky, I just got word that we have someone on pit road who might go a little bit more in depth before we do our track analysis, but let's do our driver car analysis. So take it away on pit road.
Focus on two things, right? So first it's going to be the front wing and definitely the rears, or I should say more about the tires. The Black Firestone tires are going to be one thing to really note tonight, and it's because the right front, I believe, are going to be not only killed a lot, but the rears as well, because if those tires really overheat really quickly on a short run, imagine trying to survive it on a long run, right? Drivers are going in turn 1, turn 3 at around 230 miles per hour in towing and in the draft, so it's going to be about how you save these tires and really baby them throughout your stint, because we're thinking be calculating of around 33 to 34 laps a stint. Not only that, but the front wing. If you get any damage on these front wings, consider it game over. Pack your bags, go home, because what's the point? Without this downforce, and if it's damaged in any way, the car will be understeering or oversteering in whatever way the damage is, and it's just going to be horrible for these drivers to really try to drive it around this course at speeds of over 200 miles per hour. So I think, in my opinion, two things to really focus on is the front wing and the tires. And if those two are having issues for any of the drivers tonight, well, I don't think they're going to be the one to win it tonight. And not only do the drivers have to be really good on track, but they're going to have to be good on pit road. We see a lot of times in real life and in our past CAL races where the race gets lost on pit road, of course, and it's going to be about how the drivers get into their pit box. Remember, 34 lap old tires, not going to stop from 60 to 0 in a second like that, because it's going to definitely be a lot of overshooting. Tires going to be locking up, so it's going to be about how the drivers get into their pit box. Let these guys do their job and get them as quick as they can out of pit road. So it's going to be really about how the drivers not only do on track, but on pit road. And yeah, so take it away in the booth.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at some of our drivers that we've got out here tonight. We got a lot of drivers willing to turn their cameras on and give us a look at the action tonight. I mean, just from here, I can see some favorites in this race. You've got Lucas Moody on the top left there. We've got Cale Davidson on here, Clint Halterman, that third car, Jordan Johnson in the top right, Art Muhammad Alif there in the dark room in the middle. You got Ricky Paz on here as well. A lot of guys in here, favorites for this race, and maybe even some underdogs as well.
Yeah, and as you see, one of them fellas have the VR headset on, so they're literally in the car, immersed fully. I mean, Sky, I've done it only once, And I put on the VR set. I did a draft masters at Daytona, caught in a wreck, and that was the most scariest moment of my life. So I will never ever do iRacing VR. Anyone who does it, kudos to you. Better than me.
It's like a horror game in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a iRacing speedrun. How to turn iRacing to a hard game. Just put on a headset. Go to Martinsville, probably Arca. Oh, that's a crazy racetrack right there. But hold on. I mean, I was gonna say, what are we talking about ovals? And we are driving on oval. I got that road course mentality on. But let's go and talk about the road. And I've been talking about the road map. So let's talk about the track itself. So Indianapolis Motor Speedway, 2.43 miles, 3.92 kilometers, 4 turns, really easy. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Known for the greatest spectacle in racing, with pit speeds of 55 miles per hour, 89 kilometers per hour. So we gotta watch out for pit road. Definitely if drivers are going to go in and speeding, and was first seen right now 2024 season 11, well, last week, but we're running on the oval configuration, so it is the first time that we're doing this.
Yeah, we did a bit of a double header last week. We took the Indy cars to the road course, had them run in reverse around this racetrack for Indy Road, and we've put them back the right way for this race, and we're going to do the oval again. So a bit of an Indy double header over the last 2 weeks, but that only gives the drivers who are based in Indy more of a chance to get a home race win.
Yeah, and I was gonna say last week we saw the race kind of play out, and well, it's one thing that it's an Indy road configuration. It's another thing to talk about the Indy oval configuration, but it definitely helps set the mindset for these drivers tonight to really think about, like thinking, okay, we're gonna drive here next week. They already got the racetrack. They can practice on it. I know some people had to buy the Indy Road course for the first time for their subscription. So you have a lot of these drivers that are getting used to driving on the yards of bricks. So right now it looks like we are about to start qualifying. We're almost 2 seconds away. So if you guys are right now tuning in, hit that like button and subscribe, because tonight we are going to have an amazing CIL FC race, an Indy Oval debut. Don't want to miss it. Stay tuned as qualifying is happening right now.
We got qualifying going right now on the racetrack, and we're going to watch some cars kind of come out of the pits here for their laps. No one's quite started yet, but slowly but surely these cars are going to make their way out of the pits. They'll start their qualifying lap, and we'll get to see who gets to go to the top of the timing sheet in the Indy 250. The Get Your COVID and Flu Shots 250, presented by Alex Halinar.
Now, Sky, I got a quick question here. We got 5 minutes. They got 5 minutes to qualify, 3 laps. Now, we always see in other road courses and prior to this race where, they would go out, race 1 lap hard, then they would reset to the pits, do it again because their tires would be dead. But something's different about this course, right? Like, what is it going into this qualifying in terms of how are they going to set up their lap? Is the first lap the fastest? Is it the second, or is it the third?
I reckon the first lap probably won't be the fastest here. I think you want to go for that second lap. You want to get the car up to speed on the first lap and take the second lap as your flying lap. But that makes it really interesting, because what do you do at the third lap at that point? Do you just try and run another one to make it faster, or do you reset the pits and see how fast you can get up to speed, see if you can do it on a lap 1? I think that's going to be the main thing to watch. And also, I think the main thing to watch is that I believe we might have some DNQs tonight. I believe we only have 36 cars in this race. We've got 38 attempting to qualify. So this is the first real race we've had a Cup car battle, and Jordan Johnson has already looped it on his outlap.
Yeah, Kent State University driver Jordan Johnson, he's trying to make it a really fast lap, but we see it right there. So lap times are around 39 seconds, 40 seconds. So, they don't have a lot of time, as right now we're on board here with Lee Kane in the number 14 machine, as we're going to see him take a lap around Indy.
Lee Kane, one of the newer drivers to CIL, both on the oval and the road side. He's done most of his racing on ovals, but he's come over to road here because he wants to run this race at Indy. And he's going to come out, I believe this is his out lap here. We'll see him come to the line, and then he will take us on board for that second lap. Lee Kane down the front straightaway. That'll start his lap. He'll head off into turn 1 here. You just want to keep it right on that inside, but it's a very fine balance. You don't want to move the wheel that much. You can see just how gentle he's being on that wheel. He gets a little tight at a 2 and has to lift, and that's going to cost him a lot of time down the back straightaway here as he heads down into 3. Similar story in these corners. You want to get right down to the inside while as far on the throttle as you can be. He'll do the same thing in 3, same thing in 4, and Lee Kane will come to the line, and we'll see where he stacks up against the drivers who have run laps so far. We got 19 on the board. Lee Kane will go in 17th.
Yeah, and look at those speeds, Sky. I mean, I'm not sure if you didn't mention it, and I was like, mention it, Sky. 220 miles per hour going into turns 2 and 4, but going down on the back stretch, turns 1 and 3 are where it's the most. As you saw in commercial break, as we heard our pit road reporting by yours truly, 230 miles per hour going into these turns 1 and 3 most of the time, really. Those right fronts, I mean, they are being shredded. So it's only a matter of time of how long you can really keep up these speeds as we see David the Silva down the straightaway 230. He hits the timing line. He is currently 20th fastest. So right now it looks like Garrett Weitzen, who has done his laps right now. He has I think he's on his 3rd lap. So we'll see if he does any improvement right here. But right now tracking in 2nd on the front row. And no, he actually goes slower. Yeah, so his best lap was a 39.844. That last time around, a 39.916. So, Sky, you were right. That 3rd lap doesn't seem like it's really helping these drivers out. It looks like it's just not going to be enough. It looks like that 2nd lap might be the prime lap.
Yeah, look at the 2 of our top 3 guys here are guys who very often do not run the Formula College Series. Garrett Weitzen in 2nd and John Hagen in 3rd are both oval guys. John Hagen even told me before this race that he is not as confident on road, not nearly as confident on road as he is on oval, but because this is the Brickyard, he decided to show up, and he's got himself in the top 5 right now for Oklahoma.
Yeah, I was going to say, sorry to rain on your parade. We were about to mention that John Hagen was in top 3, but he just got knocked down. Ryan Whitlock in P2 just got a 39.838, so that's nearly 9,000th of a second slower than a Leaf. So, and Garrett with a looks like an 844. So these top 3 just less than not even a tenth, half a tenth of difference here for the top 3. So is it too late to change my pick to Garrett? I mean, of course, I got faith with Brandon Schulenberger right now tracking P13. He has a 39.945, but honestly, I mean, if I could have a second pick, Sky, I'm gonna put it on Garrett right now.
Hey, I picked the Leaf. He got pole. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
You were right, Sky, but you know what? All right, unofficially, I'm changing my pick to Garrett. I'm gonna have to pay. Hey, the race didn't start yet, so I'm gonna go with Garrett.
Brandon.
Now, Brandon will understand. Garrett is our friend as well, so I think he'll understand. But I mean, it's quite literally fascinating just how fast these cars are driving around. And I asked you earlier, Sky, how fast and how difficult these cars are to manage. I mean, I test drove it for the first time earlier today to really get a feel for it. But the whole map engine, the Armco or whatever, the ARB front and the back, all those things that, as me as an oval driver, it's like I just need 1st, 3rd, 4th gear, whatever. All I know is the front left. Man, it's too many complicated for me, Sky. So talk to me about how are they gonna really use the different tools that they have in the car, about these whole map engines, saving tires, saving fuel.
A little more options than you do in like a cup car or whatever. Usually in a cup car, for a fixed setup race like we have in CIL, you're mostly just focused on the brake bias. That's about the only thing you can change. You can change the tightness of this car, the looseness of this car. You can change how it, like, completely how it drives from an in-car system, which makes this very different to the cup cars. We're going to take you through the grid here for tonight's race. We're going to get our starting lineup pulled up for you here in just a second. We're pulling that up for you right now as soon as our software starts to work.
But hold on, while we're waiting on our broadcast to hopefully unglitch, let's get Ricky, or I believe it's Ricky who.
Ricky is also stuck in the elevator. All right, we're getting a couple things loaded up for you here, but we've got about 4 minutes left in this warm-up session before we get into the actual race tonight. These drivers got a couple more chances to run some laps, do some practice, maybe even take a bathroom break if that's what they're feeling, before they get up here in the booth and we can start tonight's
Looks
Get
like
Your
we got
COVID
Ricky.
and Flu Shots 250, presented by Alex Halinar. Edward?
All right, Ricky. We just got Ricky. He just got out of the elevator. He's safe and sound, guys, so he survived. So, talk to us, Ricky.
This is the first ever Indy 250 that the CIL is putting on. Couldn't be any more excited for us to get going on this awesome journey. We're turning left a few times this season, which is new for us, but what's even better is the fact that we get to do something that we've never done in the CIL before. Take the IndyCar around Indianapolis Motor Speedway, turning left for points. Obviously, big thanks to Alex Halinar and the Halinar Racing team for sponsoring the Get Your COVID and Flu Shots 250 at the Brickyard. Super excited to have a sponsor for our race. Big thanks to the broadcast team who have been putting on a phenomenal show. Sky and Edward have been doing an awesome job commentating for us the last couple of weeks. And big shout out to the drivers. I was really worried, and I think we all were a little nervous and in anticipation for this race and for some ovals with the IndyCar, but so far so good. And so super excited to be here and to be steering our league in a new direction. Now listen here, everybody, because this is big, right? Remember to get your COVID and flu shots, do it. But also remember that we're here for one thing. We're here for the greatest spectacle in racing. Turning left, 250 miles, 100 laps, going over 200 miles an hour. And gentlemen, you better be ready. Start your engine.
Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you,
that was
Ricky.
our FC director, Ricky. Sky, I mean, how pumped up are you? Because, like, this is going to be an insane race night in CIL history.
Yeah, well, I'm very excited. This is going to be a highlight of the season for sure. We do finally have that grid loaded up for you here so we can take a look through our starting lineup tonight as these drivers finish up their warm-up on the pole. In his home race, it's our Muhammad Ali from Ball State University with Ryan Whitlock of Alabama Huntsville to his outside. Looking back a row, Garrett Vighton from Arizona State will be in third, while Wyatt Burton of Indiana will be in fourth. John Hagan from the University of Oklahoma will roll off fifth, with Clinton Halterman of UNC Charlotte in sixth. Two guys best known for their ovals coming out here to the Indy 500.
And it's going to be Lucas Moody in P7 for Ball State University. Once again, close but not close enough in the top 10. Ricky Paz in East Carolina University, that 19 machine in P8. P9 is going to be Thornton Thomas in the Rose Holman Institute of Technology in P9, and John LaFawn for number 10 and P10 for number 16 at Pennsylvania College of Technology.
All right, Ben Fiore of P11 for Marist College, with Jason Wallet, another guy better at ovals, P12 for Drexel. Brandon Schulenberger will start 13th for Wingate, with Jake Cummings of Converse in 14th. And the last row we're going to get to show you here, because these drivers are already getting ready to go. Charles Wimbley will roll off 15th for Guilford College, and Cohen Evans 16th for Purdue at Indianapolis. And these drivers are getting ready. We've got them on the grid here. You can see Ryan Whitlock or Muhammad Ali making up the front row. As once these drivers finish gridding, the pace car will pull off, and Edward will get to take them away for the Get Your COVID and Flu Shots 250.
Thank you, Sky. And yes, I am so glad to have the honor to call this green flag run. To open it up first is the race analysis. So as I mentioned before on pit road, 45 laps is going to be the race length. It should be 100 laps. So actually it's going to be 100 laps. Don't worry, folks. So it's going to be 100 laps, and it's going to be all about having the drive to really hold on with these tires. Just to note, to everybody watching, it's primary tires. There's no alternates. there is no compound tire swap mandate. So everyone's going to be driving the same compound tire, which is the primary blacks. As I said, 4 turns, and estimated fuel window is going to be actually 33 to 34 laps. So it means that it's going to be around a 2-stopper, potentially a 3-stopper if people can't save enough tires and fuel. But Sky, I mean, you'll definitely try to go for that 2-stopper, wouldn't you?
I mean, the real life Indy 500 always comes down to tire strategy. You see a lot of cars trying 2 stops, cars trying 3 stops. You see cars try to stay out a long time to try to get a caution to help them out. I mean, there's always a lot of different strategy played in the Indy 500, from guys who are trying to maybe pit early so they can drive to the field and win the race, to guys who want to get their sponsors some TV time and hang out up front for about 5 laps. There's always a lot of strategy here. There's always a lot of excitement, a lot of things at play at Indy, and you're going to get to see that here tonight, Edward.
Yep, and of course, I am just honored to announce that this is, as we mentioned before, and always will be, the greatest spectacle in racing. This is the Get Your COVID and Flu Shots 250 at the Brickyard, presented by the Halinar Racing Team. As we see the pace car rolling off, the green flag is out, and away we go, and let's go racing at the Yard of Bricks.
Our Bahama Chief takes him away, with Ryan Whitlock rapidly falling into line in second. Wyatt Burton gets up to third, fighting to fourth. Hagen up the inside for fifth, and the last row 2 wide is going to be Ricky Paz, who's going to slide in front, or slide behind Lucas Moody there. We're watching Vighton in fourth try to draft with Burton. These drivers swerving back and forth down the straightaway, and we're already going to go 3 wide for the lead. A Leaf backs out. It's going to be Ryan Whitlock to the lead of the race down in turn 3.
Hold on, look at John Hagen on the inside. He's trying to make a pass for P4, and he does. He gets around Garrett, but I don't think Garrett's going to be too happy. He's going to have something else to answer back, as right now on board with John Hagen. He's going to try and get a slipstream with a Leaf right in front. That Ball State University machine, but I don't think he's going to get there in time. No, he does not, as John Hagen is able to hold off P4. But remember, Sky, push to pass, right? We got 200 seconds of push to pass. So all these drivers are going to have to be really, really smart on when to utilize it. Because on these straights, not only are you going to get the draft, but that push to overtake is definitely going to be useful. As right now, it looks like it's going to be a clean start, it looks like, as all these drivers have been getting off with a really nice start. And it looks like the top 10, not much moving around. They all kind of are in where they started, but except for Garrett, who unfortunately is the one that lost the most in that restart. We saw him drop 2 positions, now down to P5 with Clint Holtzman right behind him.
Yeah, I want to apologize for some technical difficulties with the timing tower. We are working on getting that back up for you. But look at this battle for fourth. I mean, it's John Hagen and it's Garrett Vighton. This was the battle for the win in the Cup race on Monday. 2 guys who are good at ovals, 2 guys who know how to win at ovals, and they're both top 5 early on in this Indy 250 race. We're still watching John Hagen carry around here as we start to get that timing tower restored for you. He's going to roll into turn 3 right on the bottom, roll it out well, and then go straight back onto it into 4. Wyatt Burton takes the lead of this race, followed by Ryan Whitlock second, Ard Muhammad Ali third, Hagen fourth, and Vighton fifth for now. Clint Holtzman lurking back in 6th.
Yeah, and I do want to mention right now, there is a battle going on in the back. We got Christian Hill trying to send it 2 wide in the back. So the battle for P10, P20, there's a lot of fighting. So yeah, quick shout out to Christian Brian Hill, the 085 car, one of our broadcasters who works really hard in the background tonight. He is a driver. So let's go Christian, as he's going to try and hopefully hold on to P20. But right in the back, I was seeing 2 wide, almost 3 wide for top 15. So there's definitely a big battle in the back. It looks like the top 10 are kind of stringing out.
Yeah, we've already got our first wreck, too. Troy Kami into the wall there. He was racing at the back of the field. He's already in the fence. So we've got our first casualty tonight as Ryan Whitlock continues the draft on Wyatt Burton. Trying to get that run going, but he doesn't quite have it yet. You think the drafts in the real life Indy 500 are intense? You have not seen nothing with some of the shenanigans that are gonna go on with the push to pass later in this race. It is gonna be crazy down these straightaways as we head closer to the end, and this is just the precursor to that right now.
I'm sorry, but where did Wyatt Bird come from? The man started in P4, now up to P1. He is representing his school on the top level of CIL in front. And right now we're seeing side by side Jordan Johnson, David Da Silva. It's all about the points here, folks, because Jordan Johnson, of course, not a good qualifying for him. As it looks like in the back, it looks like Christian is going to make it, send it in on the inside of Jordan Johnson. He makes the pass, and he moves up into P19.
Racetrack, and that's going to allow Jordan Johnson to go straight back to the inside. He's not going to get it, though. A great run for Christian Hill out of turn 2 is going to give Christian Hill the spot, and he will hold 19th for now, taking that spot away from Jordan Johnson, and now he can focus on David Da Silva up in front of him in that battle for 18th. He doesn't have a lot of draft from Da Silva, but Da Silva doesn't have a lot of draft from Cohen Evans, so it might kind of work out there. And I would like to apologize. I have gotten word from the producers. They're wrecking in the background.
Caution is out, and it looks like we got one spinner in the back. I don't know who it was, but
it looks like John LaFawn.
Yeah, John LaFawn. Looks like John LaFawn is out of the race, folks, and you saw it happen out of turn 4. Too much speed, getting on the gas quick enough. The rear slide out, hit the wall, and that's all she wrote. And unfortunately, John LaFawn, one of many, is out of the race.
Yeah, we're still going to try to get a look at what caused that, because we're not entirely sure. We saw John LaFawn come out of turn 4. I was trying to apologize for how we don't actually have push to pass, but I came back to John LaFawn and Andrew Burrow, both wrecked. Alan Hong also involved in an incident, so we're going to try and get a replay on what happened to these cars, but we've got a caution out, and we've got a couple cars wrecked early.
Oh, I can tell you right now, it looks like it was John LaFawn who, unfortunately, of course, we saw that he lost it, and it looked like it was because he hit the grass. So out of turn 4, he went and hit that little bit of grass, trying to cut the corner as much as he can, and unfortunately just spun it out. As we're seeing here on the replay, yeah. It
there
just looks like he got hit right there in the car in front. I'm trying to see who that was, and I believe that was David Da Silva. David Da Silva was right behind John LaFawn when he spun out. So he got a little bit of damage on his right front nose. So, yeah, as we see, David is now in the pits trying to get damage repaired. But, yeah, I mean, Sky, you're always trying to take as much as you can from the track. You're trying to cut it as much as you can, try to optimize your exit speed. But if you bite a little bit too much, if you bite more than you can chew, and look what happens.
Yeah, it doesn't always quite work out for you when you're trying to push really hard like that. I mean, you kind of got to go for it in the early laps of this race, but if you're someone who doesn't drive the IndyCar often, you really can't feel how strong the dirty air is in these cars until you actually run one of these races. You get in that dirty air, and your car just takes off towards the wall. It gets so hard to turn. And for these first-time drivers to the Indy road course, that can be really troubling. You can really have some issues there. As Edward, that's your pick in the pits.
Oh no! Well, hey, remember I said Garrett, but Brandon, yeah, looks like he got a little bit of contact there. I think I did. So I'm gonna lift the curse. I'm gonna put it on Garrett because Garrett is he's immune. He's immune to that. But yeah, it looks like Brandon is out of the car. I just got a text from him saying the car is not happy right now. But looks like he got back in the car and he's coming out. It looked like that. It's all about reverse psychology. I see something bad, and now something good happens.
I didn't know you were allowed to have phones in that thing.
Well, I mean, after Brad Kozlowski made that cool selfie in the Daytona 2011, they've allowed only, I think, maybe, Nokia phones? They're pretty indestructible, right, Sky?
You're allowed to use phones, but only if it's cool.
Of course.
What I'm hearing.
Yeah, a Nokia phone, yeah. But
yeah,
right now, as we're pacing around, I was going to ask Sky, look who's up front right now.
Who's up front right now? It is Ryan Whitlock in P1. So that's a very, I guess, interesting turn of events. We've seen a couple cars take the lead here today. Obviously, our Muhammad Alif started on pole. Wyatt Burton took it over pretty quickly, but then Ryan Whitlock got it back, and he leads the race at the time of caution. And we do have a report from the stewards, our steward tonight being title sponsor of this race, Alex Halinar. John LaFawn will receive a drive-through penalty plus strike 1 for loss of control. I don't think that's going to matter, seeing as his entire front nose is gone.
Yep, and it looked like there was a little bit of driver chatter by David De Silva. I think he wasn't too happy with what happened in front of him. And but I mean, I'm gonna be honest, Sky. 5 laps without a caution in the first turn. I mean, it's definitely a good run that we had there for a while there, but now that we got kind of the jitters out and people now know what to expect, as you said, the dirty air. I mean, it causes these cars to understeer, oversteer in certain aspects, and I mean, I can think they got a taste of what's gonna happen for the next 95 laps.
Yeah, pit lights are off on the pace car. That timer is time left in the session. We're going by lap count primarily here, so we're on lap 9 of this race. When the pace car pulls off on the front straightaway, we will be on lap 10, and I believe it'll pull off here. The lights are off. It will pull off. And so Ryan Whitlock is going to lead us back to green here. Taking his time. He's getting in the restart zone, and there he goes. Ryan Whitlock is off, and we're back under green here in Indy. Oh, immediate accident. Oh, my God.
It's a
We've got like
lot.
4 cars up and over.
Oh no, that was a whole parking lot. I was looking at the back this entire time with my binoculars up top here in the booth, and I'm telling you, Sky, I believe one car spun it as it got going, and unfortunately, it was a domino effect. Everybody just couldn't get out of the way.
I can tell you exactly what happened there. It was Jordan Johnson who
Oh,
caused
no.
the accident. Jordan Johnson, too quick on the restart, slammed into the back of Christian Hill, and no one had anywhere to go in the back. That's a massive accident. Aiken Lamar goes flipping down the straightaway. There's like 3 cars in the air at one point. This is chaos. Christian Hill is in the air. Dylan Beatty is in the air. Aiken Lamar sliding on his roof. We're going to try to get a replay of this for you here. This is chaos.
I was gonna say, Sky. So while we wait for broadcast to show us a replay, I mean, yeah, look at Aiken Lamar's car. I don't think you could drive that thing right now. As it looks like he somehow still is able to wheel that thing to pit road, hopefully to get some repairs. But I doubt it. It looks like the front left toe is broken. The nose is bent to the side. I don't think that's going to be driving anytime soon after he goes back into the pits. But yeah, no, I was looking in the back, and you're right. Jordan Johnson, he got on the gas a little bit too quickly. And I don't know if it was a combination of Christian Hill not going fast enough, as we see people on the right side just standing in utter disbelief. Oh, that guy's happy for this white-yellow flag. But Sky, I mean, our first restart of the race, right? Because we saw the restart before the start of the race is double file, but we had a single file restart here, and you had people in the back wanting to not jump the start, but really get quickly. But Sky, we got 89 laps to go. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, we're losing the field already. We're still getting that replay pulled up for you here, but while we're doing that, I'm gonna kind of take you through the cars who were involved in that accident here. Jordan Johnson hit the back of Christian Hill and also caught up in that accident. Alexander Diamond is totaled. Jake Cummings is destroyed. Dylan Beatty is upside down. Jonathan Eggy and Nick Henley taking major damage as well.
Look at that. He
Marlo
got high in
Duncan.
the air. That was Nick Henley who jumped in the air, but you're right. Also, Aiken Lamar, he was almost up above the catch fences.
Yeah, that was here. Jordan Johnson, yeah, he hits the back of Christian Hill, and it is chaos from there. Look at Dylan Beatty. Look at Dylan Beatty leap in the air back there. Contact with Christian Hill sends them both sky high.
Sky high indeed, Sky. But, I mean, I don't think they could park there, as we saw a bunch of cars there just parked on the front stretch. But, I mean, hear me out, Sky. I just heard from Race Control after that first caution, right before we went green, saying, "Hey guys, we're doing great, drivers. Let's keep it up." And then 2 seconds later, that happens. If you don't, if I'm just saying, it's not just commentators curse, but I think Race Control curse is a thing.
I think they've definitely been doing some of that this season with how these restarts have been in every CIL league. We started this race with 36 cars. As of right now, we are down to 23 on the lead lap. 13 cars have already gone at least one lap down, and we're down to 23 on the lead lap. Yeah, so we're just gonna list off some of the cars here who are, oh my bad, 21 or 20. We've got 20 on the lead lap. Is what we have. yet. Jake Cummings is out. We saw him in that accident. Alex Finnerty is 1 down. Nick Henley is 1 down. Thornton Thomas and Jake Cummings are both 1 down. Marlo Duncan and Aiken Lamar are 2 down. Alex Diamond, Christian Hill, Dylan Beatty, and Jonathan Eggy are 3 down. David Da Silva is 4 down. Alan Hong and John LaFawn are 5 down. Andrew Burrell is 6 down. And Robbie Hotchkiss is 8 down. Chaos.
I mean, that's the right. I was gonna ask, Guy, what is the one word you can describe this right now? And it's utter chaos. But other than that, if you're just tuning in live, folks, welcome to the Get Your COVID and Flu Shots 250 at the Brickyard, presented by the Halinar Racing Team. And tonight, folks, we got off a good start, and then our first ever single file restart, we kind of got a little bit of chaos, but we're gonna go green once again. So attempt number 2. Let's see if they can hold on here and get it rolling. As right now, Ryan Whitlock in the front and Wyatt Burton in the back. I mean, Wyatt Burton, Sky, we don't see him often, so let's see if he can do something right here as the pace car is off. And we're gonna go racing once again here at the Yard of Bricks.
Yeah, let's see if this restart goes better than the last one. Let's see if they make it to the start-finish line this time. No, they won't. They're wrecking in the back. Somebody is wrecking big time. Oh, my God.
Oh!
Somebody is into the pit entry wall and has flipped into the pit lane. That is Alexander. No, it's not Diamond. It's Brandon Schulenberger.
Brandon, no.
It's Brandon Schulenberger. No caution has come out because he crashed into the pit lane. So iRacing doesn't register it as an accident on the track. We're still under green with Ryan Whitlock first, Ryan Burton second, and R. Muhammad Alif in third.
I'm just gonna say, Brandon, if you're gonna watch this later, not my fault, okay? As I'm looking at the replay right now, and it looks like, oh, it was not Brandon's fault. It was actually David Da Silva. So just like what happened with Jordan Johnson getting into the back of Christian Hill, it was David Da Silva. He got on the gas a little bit too soon. He clipped the left rear of...
Caution's out.
Oh, and we got caution out. It looks like Tyler Klingensmith made contact with Adrian Tipagoic, and they're both... Looks like they're both out.
Another quick accident there between Tyler Klingensmith and Adrian Tubakovic. We'll get a replay pulled up of what happened here. Oh, Tubakovic into the fence. So he hits the fence. Someone tags him from behind. Now, how does this finish? How does this wreck keep going? Tubakovic. Oh my goodness!
Oh, I think that was Sky.
I don't want to say that was intentional because there's a lot of things that could describe that, but that is a.
I'm sorry.
That is definitely a maneuver that was done by Adrian Tubakovic right there.
Sky, all I'm gonna say is Adrian had no front wing going into that. I think when Tyler cut off Adrian right there, I think Adrian had no front wing. And I believe with no downforce, can't turn. So Adrian went straight into Tyler Klingensmith. But, Sky, that doesn't look really good. I think the stewards are going to take a long look at that.
No. What happened is Klingensmith had the wing knocked off is what happened.
Oh, okay.
Tubakovic still had his wing. Klingensmith had the wing knocked off. He went into the corner. We get a replay here. He went into the corner. He had no speed. He checked up big time. He went about 20 miles an hour lower than the cars around him. Tubakovic still had the wing on the car. He tried to enter as normal and just jumped the back of him. And we're going to see this here. Yeah, look at how much Klingensmith slows up there, and Tubakovic really can't go anywhere because Klingensmith's going about 180 when everyone else in front of him is going 210.
Yeah, and so while we have this accident happen, just a little update. Yeah, looks like Brandon Schulenberger is out of this race. David Da Silva clipped him on the left side, left rear, as I was talking about during that restart, which caused him to tumble like a tumbleweed. I mean, I lost count how many times Brandon flipped, but it was well in the six times, I believe, 7 times. And David Da Silva also receiving damage from that, so he's going to be in the pits to repair. So, well, hopefully we get a replay on that restart, and it looks like we did.
Yeah, okay, so we are down to, let me count this, 18 cars on the lead lap. We have lost half the field. It has been 16 laps. We have 84 to go.
Oh well, I mean, I think
You
we'll
wanna
get.
you wanna revise your pick, Edward, or are you still going with Garrett to survive the chaos here? Because the
I'm,
only real strategy seems to be staying up front.
No, I think I picked it right. I said Garrett, and I'm sticking with it. Okay, your pick, Alif, is in P3, so my pick is only 2 guys behind them, so it's not too bad.
It's not too bad there. Alif is having a good time at least. He's in third. He's chilling, having a good time on his rig. He's been in front of the chaos, so he really has not had to deal with this at all, which is gonna make his race a lot better. Because he's lost about half the field, and he is having a great time up there. He's not been involved in any of it. We got 2 stewards incidents
Yep.
for you here. Incident on lap 15 involving car Adrian Tubakovic. He has received a strike and a drive-through.
Ooh.
Again, I don't think his car exists enough for him to actually serve that drive-through. And a lap 13 collision, that would be what sent Schulenberger flipping into the pit lane. David De Silva will also receive a strike and a penalty, but David De Silva's car is also totaled. So again, I don't think that's going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things. I believe the lights will be out this time, and we will be back to 1 to go on the pace car.
But Sky, look, 83 laps to go. All these caution paces. Also, just got word from the broadcast. Who was my second pick? I said Garrett Weitzen. All right, he's up in P5, and hopefully he does not get back cursed. But Sky, 83 laps to go. We had 3 cautions now, a bunch of pacing, fuel strategy. They could definitely now make this on a 2-stopper. Not a 1-stopper yet, but definitely a 2-stopper. So I think drivers are now noticing this, and potentially we might even see some daring do's if we still get some more pace laps in here. We might get a 1-stopper.
Yeah, with all the cautions that have happened so far, it's pretty easy to save that gas because we just haven't had any cautions for them, or we haven't had any green flag runs for them to actually use the gas that they have in that tank. So I can't imagine much of it has been burned, and I also think probably a lot of fuel saving going on these cautions, just to try and make it last as long as possible for guys like Whitlock or Muhammad Alif, who are kind of up there at the front of the field.
But Sky, wouldn't it be worth it to get fresh tires? Listen, all I know is driving 230 miles per hour down the front stretch, back stretch, everywhere, you could eat up those tires. But yeah, it looks like everyone just stayed out with 83 laps to go. Yeah, so pace car's off, and lead us the way, Sky.
Yeah, we got Wyatt Burton, we got Ryan Whitlock up here on the front 2 positions. We're going to try to make it a longer green flag run than we've had. It's Whitlock, it's Burton, it's Alif, and it's Hagen back there in that top 4. Single file to the line. The pace car is in, and Ryan Whitlock will jump. He'll lead him off. We are back green here at Indy, and big news, everybody has made it past the start-finish line. Ricky Paz is in 8th. He's trying to chase down Lucas Moody right there in 7th, with Clint Halterman in 6th for the time being. Moody with a bad start is going to allow Ricky Paz to get that run up to his bumper. He'll probably try something down the back straightaway here. We do not actually have push to pass for this race, so he's going to have to do this all on speed and on draft, and he'll get to the inside of Lucas Moody here. Ricky Paz up the inside of Moody. Can he get the spot? He will. Ricky Paz will hold 7th for now over Moody, and Fiore's back there at 9th under heavy threat from Charles Wembley.
Well, look in front of Ricky right now. No help as much as he can. And looks like we see, like that. I think that was Charles Wembley trying to hold off Ben Fiore, as he looks like he instinctively took the inside. But wow, what a pass on the outside. Ben Fiore makes the pass on the outside.
Charles Wembley makes the pass on the outside. There you go. Charles Wembley around the outside. For 9th on Ben Fiore.
What a pass. But yeah, right now, everyone jostling for position, as we see still 2 wide in the back there. It looks like it's Cohen Evans trying to make ground towards Cale Davidson. And it looks like it's going to be almost a second now to Nick Stockton behind. So we're seeing gaps now within the field, which hurts the car who has that gap and not able to really use that draft.
The less draft you have, the worse you have. Cale Davidson's got a gap of about half a second in front of him, and you see how quickly Cohen Evans is gaining on him down the straightaway. Not quite able to do it, but he's gotten close there. And you look ahead to a car with a lot of clean air in front of him. It's Ryan Whitlock. The car in the draft behind him, Wyatt Burton, just ran the fastest lap of the race. So that draft, that benefit of being this second car behind a car with a lot of clean air, clearly working out in the early stages of this race for guys like Cohen Evans and Wyatt Burton. And here is Lee Kane looking to get passed by Logan Smith. Logan Smith is going to go up the inside there in that Auburn machine on the Southern Mississippi driver, and Logan Smith will take 16th away for now.
Yeah, and it looks like they're all still jostling for position, even in the back, as you see there, P19, P22, P20. So they are lap car drivers that are one lap down, actually. So they're fighting for to really get any positions, anything that they can get out of the night. But yeah, right now it looks like Burton up front has the fastest lap, but that blue 81 machine of Ryan Whitlock, your CSC director in CIL, up front leading with 78 laps to go here.
Yeah, I think a lot of the strategy here is going to be, do you want to be that car who's in front and is burning a lot of gas like Ryan Whitlock currently is, or do you want to be Wyatt Burton, who's sitting back there in second, has not burned up as much of that gas, and I mean, he's on the throttle a lot less. You can see why he's hanging out there, and he's going to try to get that lead, maybe on a pit stop here. We've got I believe, no, this is not for position. This is, oh no, this is for position. This is Alan Hong into the side of Marlo Duncan. This is one lap down for 23rd. Jake Cummings is going to go through the middle. He is not on the same lap as these cars. But, I mean, hey, it's a position. They're going to go for it. We're back on board with Marlo Duncan here, looking on Alan Hong of St. Clair. The strategy for these guys is that they're basically just hoping for a caution. They want a wreck to happen, and the more cars that wreck, the more positions they get. But we've got a battle for the spot 5 laps down, and they're going at it pretty hard still.
Yeah, and that's really just how great this racing is. It's no matter where you are on the track, no matter if you're 4 laps down or even on the lead lap, you're still fighting for position. So you see that the GOAT, Alan Hong, up front, holding off the hard-charging Marlo Duncan for P22. So it's still a big points gain for 22nd place. Better than 23rd, and you never know. Points always come through the end.
Yeah, battle for third. It's Muhammad Alif. To the inside, John Hagan tried to make a move around the outside, but Alif kind of cut him off there, and he's going to stay in line behind him for the time being. That's the Oklahoma driver on the Ball State driver. Those two have had a bit of a rivalry recently in the Cup Series, those two schools. Ball State's kind of used to the domination, but Oklahoma has come in and won the first 5 races of that season back-to-back. So a bit of drama on the Cup Series side between those two cars, and a bit of drama now on the Indy side between those two cars.
Now, Scott, I watched the Indy 500 in real life, and one thing to know is just how long does it take for them to even get a run, right? You have to take in consideration that dirty air and trying to optimize your exit speed to even have a chance to have a run, right? Down out of turn 2 or out of 4, down the backstretch and the front stretch respectfully.
All right, yeah, John Hagan's still trying to make that move happen. Ryan Whitlock has gotten... Well, he's still about 0.3 of a second ahead of Wyatt Burton. That gap is not really extended at all in this battle. Alif's still 3rd. Hagan is still 4th. In these front, I want to say 10 or so cars are all kind of holding steady. No one's really been able to get the draft to actually make a move here in the early goings of this race.
Yeah, I want to say it looks like the top 5. It looks like the top 5 are kind of checking out a little bit, with Garrett kind of falling a little bit behind. But the top 4, it's like a DRS train. They're all just so compact together. But what scares me a lot, you see how close they are to the grass. They got their left side tires dipping on that white line there. But as you see there, they kind of washed up a little bit now. So we're now finally getting a green flag run, right? We saw these cautions happen left and right, but now we're 10 laps green now. So this is now the longest green flag run, and potentially even more so now. So now you see these drivers going higher and higher up the track, not being able to really hold on. As you see right there, as I was talking about, trying to stick that white line.
We're going to sit on board with John Hagan here in his continued pursuit of Muhammad Alif for that 3rd position in this race. He's still trying to make that move happen, but he's not quite there yet. Hagan is making his CIL Formula College debut tonight. I'm his teammate, so I talked to him before the race. He told me he just really wanted to run the Indy Oval. He likes oval tracks a lot more than he does road courses, and he thinks the Indy cars are really fun on oval. So he decided, hey, I'll sign up for Formula College. I'll try an oval race, and he's here now, and he's running 4th in the early going of this. He's won 3 out of 5 Cup Series races this season, and he'll try to take that luck into this one.
Yeah, and it looks like it's a battle for P11 as Cohen Evans slowly but surely getting closer to Ben Fiore. And the closer he gets, the better that draft. And let's see if he's going to make something happen here. As down the front stretch, he's looking on the inside and he thinks again. But you see how low Cohen Evans is trying to... Oh, a little bit of dirty air makes him go up the track. But you see, he's trying to enter lower than Ben up front, trying to get that clean air, but ends up washing out when you come out of the corner. But I mean, yeah, look at that dirty windshield in front of you. It's all that rubber building up with 11 cars right in front of you. It is not something you want to be really trying to fight for.
No, it's definitely a lot harder to drive back there in 11th or 12th than it is when you've got the clean air that a car like Ryan Whitlock has in front. But you've got that dirty air, but it's still faster, and you're seeing that for Wyatt Burton right now. That car is faster in that dirty air because he's able to get the toe down the straightaways, and that's what helps him out. Even though he's slower in the corners, he's better down the straightaways, and it not only cancels out, it makes him a little faster than Ryan Whitlock for most of this track.
And look at that. Look at Wyatt Burton, CILFC rookie on our first ever Indy Oval debut. And look at that. The gap between second and third. He is checking out a leaf. He is running right now behind the leader, not letting him go. Ryan Whitlock trying, and with that clean air, but Wyatt Burton looks like he's like, I need that dirty air. He helps him out a lot.
Yeah, that dirty air really allows him to get the slipstream going. You're seeing that here. Here's another battle. This is for 11th. It's Ben Fiore and Cohen Evans. Cohen Evans in a very similar position to Wyatt Burton up there. Ben Fiore is about 1.2 back of Cale Davidson. He doesn't have that draft. He's in clean air, but he doesn't have the car towing him along, so it's making him slower, and it's leaving him susceptible to a push from a car like Cohen Evans, who's been able to tuck in Fiore, and he's going to try to get the run into 4. He won't quite get there, so he'll stay behind, and we'll see if Cohen Evans can get this run down the front straightaway. He's a little faster. He's got a better run, and he's going to pull up behind Ben Fiore. He'll pull to the inside as we go down the front straightaway. Cohen Evans is going to make the move stick around the inside, and Cohen Evans is going to take 11th for now over Ben Fiore, who's going to immediately try to pass him back. He can't quite get the run. Now he will down the straightaway, and it's Ben Fiore with the switchback on Cohen Evans. Straight back to the inside for the Marist College driver, but he can't get the run, and he'll have to tuck in behind into turn 3. Nick Stockner is still right there. He's right ahead of Drew Williams back there. Clemson alumni teammates in 13th and 14th. They're ahead of Jordan Johnson, who did not take fatal damage from that accident, unlike pretty much everyone else who is in it, and is 15th. And Logan Smith in 16th is kind of the last car in this main train. We split into 2 packs here. You've got the first 10 cars of Whitlock to Davidson, and then you've got everyone on back from Cohen Evans in 11th, back to Jason Wallet, or back to Logan Smith in 16th, and then Jason Wallet is detached, and he's kind of leading a very, very ragged group of lap cars around here for 17th. We're going to do a rundown of your top 10 here. Whitlock is in first right now with Wyatt Burton in second. Our Muhammad Alif has dropped well back of these top 2 in third, with John Hagan still 4th and Garrett Vighton still 5th.
Yeah, and behind him is Clint Halterman of UNC. Unfortunately, looks like he's been falling back. He's now currently P6. Behind them, Ricky Paz, the number 19 in P7. A strong day for him, steadily in the top 10. With the Lucas Moody, the Missile Moody, P8 for number 13 for Ball State. Also a great drive behind them. Charles Wembley for Guilford College, the number 18, exploding out from the back. He looks like he's getting through as much as he can up to P9. Great start for him. And Cale Davidson, the last Ball State. I mean, P10 for him. Great top 10, but we usually see Cale Davidson up front fighting it out with the leaf.
We're going to go into your next couple cars here. Cohen Evans in 11th for in that Purdue at Indianapolis machine. Ben Fiore 12th for Marist. 2 Clemson alumni drivers, 13th and 14th. It's Nick Stockner and Drew Williams, with Jordan Johnson rounding out that top 15 there, the last car kind of in this pack. And these packs are starting to separate a little bit more. Alif has 9/10 of a second separating him and Burton. Halterman 7/10 between him and Vighton, and Paz has a whole second between him and Halterman. So Clint Halterman's kind of out there in no man's land he's going to have to find someone to work with and soon if he wants to hold on to that draft. And then back there, Ben Fiore, kind of the last car in that pack, led by Ricky Paz, with Nick Stockner in 13th, leading those last 4 cars.
So I was just talking with the pit crews down in pit road, and it looks like we're going to get our green flag pit stops coming real soon in the next 10 laps, as we have now officially a third of a way into our race. So it's been 35 laps, and of course, majority of it has been pace laps, but right now, crew chiefs are telling me they're expecting around 10 to 12 more laps before we actually see some movement down into pit road.
Yeah, we don't have long to go. Those cautions definitely extended the fuel window. With green flag running, we were thinking 35 to 40 laps on fuel, but with those really early caution flags kind of coming one after the other, we've kind of had that fuel rate kind of slow down. So we're thinking maybe about lap 40 is when we see these cars start coming in. 60 to go here. These drivers might start making that turn down pit road to start their ideally 2-stop strategy if this race goes green from here on out.
I mean, I would think, Sky, in terms of strategy, if you're having trouble getting away, like getting ahead of the guy in front, I mean, right now you could pit right now. You can pit right now, split it, 32 laps, and you will be fine to make it.
Ryan Whitlock is in the pits.
Yeah, it looks like he has damage on his front left. Right, I'm hearing it over the spotter. Wait, no. No, I'm sorry. I called it. He's actually pitting. Race leader is now down pit road. He's actually going to do the splitting it, as I said. He's going to do 32 and 32 laps, it looks like. So, called it a little bit, Sky. It looks like the race leader was listening on to me.
Well, he has less gas than everybody else because he's in the lead of that race. He has that clean air. Being in the lead of this race means you're full throttle all the way around the racetrack. Being second, like Wyatt Burton was before he pulled it into the pits there, means you're... Oh, he's going to lock it up!
Oh,
Wyatt Burton into the wall in the pit lane. And now we've got a battle for front. John Hagan has just gotten around Muhammad Alif for the lead. So that's going to be for third once everything cycles around. Maybe second if Wyatt Burton has some damage to the front end of that car from hitting the inside pit wall.
Yeah, right now I'm listening to the crew chief of Wyatt Burton, and it looks like Alif is going to send it on the inside of John Hagan. Alif saying not today, but John Hagan also not today. Still side by side down into turn 4. And it looks like John Hagan is going to have a better run on the outside. And Alif, oh wait, no, they're both going to the pits. Race leaders are going into the pits, and looks like Alif is going to try
He's
and
following behind him.
And everyone is going in. Yeah, the top 10 are into the pits, and I called it. I said it. Right now, the drivers were thinking about splitting it because remember, it was who was it? Ryan Whitlock who went into the pits first, catching everybody off guard, underpitting it. So I believe everyone saw that as a threat and decided to go in.
Yeah, we saw a lot of drivers kind of lock it up coming into the pits. Wyatt Burton, most notable as he hit that inside pit wall, but Muhammad Alif also with a bit of a lockup in a couple other cars. Here's Hagan out of pit road. And he will beat Alif out by a good bit. Alif is going to come out closer to Ricky Paz behind him than he is to John Hagan in front of him. So a great pit stop for John Hagan is going to get him at least a second and a half over Muhammad Alif, and we'll see where they all cycle out in relation to the cars who have already pit and the cars who are still in the racetrack, because now it's Garrett Vighton, the next car down pit road from the lead.
And I wanted to quickly note, Ryan Whitlock has passed John Hagan. So right now, Ryan Whitlock was the race leader going into the pits cycle, and he's currently P8 with Garrett Vighton. Also, we just saw the ASU driver going to the pits. But yeah, looks like Ryan Whitlock did it correct. So yeah, top 7, or I should say top 6 right now are still out on old tires. And it looks like John Hagan has a run. He's going to go on the inside into turn 1, and he makes the pass look easy. It's like stealing candy from a baby, and John Hagan up front, and currently should be, after the pit cycle, should be our race leader.
Yeah, John Hagan is going to take over the lead once this all cycles around. Clint Halterman, the next car down, leaving only 5 cars still out on the racetrack. It's Nick Stockner, Drew Williams, Jordan Johnson, Logan Smith, and Jason Wallet still out there for the time being.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, it's all about that in-lap and out-lap. So while Ryan Whitlock was able to get in and out really quickly, one thing that I noted, John Hagan had a faster out-lap. When he got out of the pits, he was able to really use up that, like the pit exit between 1 and 2. And when he came out of pit road, he was right behind Ryan Whitlock. So he was able to tow in, get that draft, and with those fresher one-lap tire, he was able to make that pass on the front stretch.
Yeah, Ryan Whitlock is 7th right now. He's half a second back, and then looking back from him, the car that'll cycle around to 3rd once his pit stop is over is Wyatt Burton, but he's 1.3 back. He hit the wall coming into the pit, so he's dropped back a little bit. Our Muhammad Alif is a second behind him. Ricky Paz has cycled out to 5th, 7/10 behind them.
Yeah, looks like we got a confirmation. Nick Stockner is going into the pits this time around. Looks like maybe if he's going to bring around his teammate Drew Williams into the pits. No, Drew stays out, as well as Jordan Johnson and Logan Smith. So those drivers in the back, and we see Jason Wall coming out of turn 4. So top 4 drivers still out with those old tires. I should say top 4.
Yeah, still 4 drivers who have not paid yet. Some of these guys, like Jordan Johnson, we know got involved in that accident at the start of the race and pit in a little later. You can see that on those cars. I believe it was just Jordan Johnson. No, Jordan Johnson and Jason Wallet both pit in a little later than the rest of the cars who are still out there. They came in about 7 laps later than everybody else. And yeah, so they're still out there. And Williams and Smith have not pit since, I believe, the start of the race, or close to it.
Yeah, and Jordan Johnson making a move on the inside. He wants to be the race leader, and he does. Going to turn 1, a beautiful pass for Kent State University drivers. So, you know, while he is leading, and Jordan Johnson getting that free airtime up here for us in the booth, unfortunately, he is not the race leader, folks, as currently they are the top 4 you see right there on your screen, except for Ben Fiore. They haven't pit yet. Those top 3 cars, I should say. So, it's only a matter of time that Jordan Johnson has to go into the pits, get those tires, and we'll see what everything... Oh, right now, it looks like Drew Williams, the 1, 2, 3 car, is going to pit this time around.
Yeah, so a couple cars still staying out. Drew Williams will pull off. So will the car behind him. That's Logan Smith. So Drew Williams and Logan Smith will pull in. Jason Wallet will move up to 2nd, and Jordan Johnson will move up to 1st. For the time being, neither of these cars have pit yet, and they're both still on the racetrack. And now I guess you have to wonder if they could one-stop it, but if they pit at lap 50, they don't have the fuel in the second half of this run. It's only in the first half of this run.
So yeah, it looks like on your left side, if you look at the towers, it looks like Jordan Johnson with 31 laps on his tires, Jason Wallet 29. So Jason Wallet actually pitted the caution before. He's one of the few that actually pitted late, and it looks like he might have... I would say I'm going to give it 4 to 5 laps of extra fuel, but, I mean, let's say, I'll take a gander at what you're saying, Sky. Make it a one-stopper. I don't think they'll be able to, as Johnson into the pits, but while it's staying out, I just think that it's impossible. You'll be short on by 10 laps of fuel.
Yeah, you would need cautions.
You would need cautions, yeah. So Jason Wallet, unfortunately, I would love to see him maybe pull one out of us, swipe the rug out of us, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, Jason Wallet, we know, likes the overcut. This is not the first time he's run this in the CIL. It's very far from it. I think back to Watkins Glen last year in the rain, where he stayed out on dry tires about 2 laps longer than everybody else did, even though it was a downpour. So we know Jason Wallet likes to run these longer kind of tire strategies where he stays out more than the rest of the field. And, I mean, he's out about 8 laps later than Wyatt Burton, 9 laps than Ryan Whitlock, and I guess he's hoping in the second half of that run that he can turn that around, and it'll catch back up to him and make him faster for the rest of this cycle.
You're probably right, Sky. With those fresh tires, Jason Wallet will have an advantage. Probably in 5 laps time, he will pit in, but I mean, who knows? What if he pits in and the caution comes out? It's all about ifs, what ifs, right? And right now on board here with Clint Halterman, P9 trying to trail down the Moody Missile in P8. As Clint Halterman getting closer and closer, he's going to try and enter in a little bit sooner, trying to not be affected by that dirty air. Let's see if he's going to have a run here out of turn 2.
Halterman still is going to look. I mean, he's going to have the advantage of Moody not having any dirty air, not having any draft in front of him. Moody's got wide open space, 1.8 seconds to Garrett Vighton. So he doesn't have any toe down those straightaways. Clint Halterman does, and that's going to be a big advantage for Halterman if he can get around him. It's not going to be a big advantage for Lucas Moody, who's going to burn a lot of fuel, and he's not even the leader to do it.
I went, ooh, because Clint Halterman, he almost hit the grass. You saw him, he got on the curb there for a second. So Clint Halterman absolutely doing his best to try to get out of that dirty air. You see him right there, way below the white line, close to the grass. So Clint on dancing on the thread, and it looks like, yeah, Jason Wall is in the pits, so he has served his pit cycle. Right now, John Hagan, our race leader up front, with Ryan Whitlock right behind him.
John Hagan, now that everyone's pit, will cycle around to the lead of the race, and he's hoping he can hold it, because this would be a huge win for him, because he's won 3 out of 5 Cup Series races this season. He's the points leader in Cup, and winning on debut in Formula College would just be something else to cement John Hagan's dominance and the dominance of not just him, but Oklahoma in general as a school in this league. They've entered about 7 races this year, and I think this would be the 6th that they've won.
I did want to note right there, Clint Halterman, a beautiful pass on the inside of Lucas Moody for P7. Long time coming. He was making that move. He has 2-lap fresher tires. But Sky, do I hear a little bit of school pride? I mean...
You do.
Yeah? All right,
Oklahoma! Boomer Sooner!
Oklahoma, you heard it right, folks, from Sky. Oklahoma up front, the number 27 of John Hagan, leading this race with 50 laps to go. We have reached our halfway mark. But I'm just going to say it, Sky. Honestly, you saw it earlier this Monday. John Hagan winning the Cup race. So could he sweep this week of all CIL series so far this week? Time will only tell. 50 laps to go here at the Get Your COVID and Flu Shots presented by Halinar Racing Team. But I did want to say...
still working around. We're going to try and get maybe a bit of a commercial break going here for you as we approach the halfway point in this race. The pit cycle has gone around, and we're going to get into a little bit of a commercial break for you here. We'll be right back later with more Formula College action from the Get Your Flu Shots and COVID Shots 250.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the greatest spectacle in racing. This is the Get Your COVID and Flu Shots 250 at the Brickyard, presented by the Halinar Racing Team. And with 47 laps to go, folks, you see it right there. Garrett Vighton trying to make a pass on Clint Halterman, but Garrett gets so close ever so slightly every time down into turn 1 on the front stretch, but just always backs up, trying not to get that dirty air. So for Vighton, it's going to be a race of attrition, as he does have at least a lap fresher tires compared to a Leaf.
Yeah, Vighton is still trying to chase down a Leaf with Halterman behind him there. I wonder what the lap times are in comparison, because I know Vighton has that clean air, but it doesn't look like he's gotten any faster. No, he's slower that time around, even though he has the clean air. So a Leaf has still been holding this gap. He doesn't really have a draft from Wyatt Burton in front, but Vighton has done a really, I guess, not as good of a job as getting up there as the Leaf has done of defending. So the Leaf's doing really well. Vighton hasn't been able to make that move yet, and he's still stuck back there in 6th. He's going to get a little closer in 3, but a bad run out of the corner will negate any advantage.
And I just wanted to do a quick race update here. Oh, as we see on board right there, Jordan Johnson hailing down Cohen Evans, but not close enough. That fight's been going on for a couple laps, but John Hagan up front, 0.9 seconds. He's checking out Ryan Whitlock as well, also making a good distance from P3. That is Ricky Paz, 2.5 seconds behind the leader. So John Hagan and Ryan Whitlock, the two drivers checking out from the main pack. But it's only a time. Time will tell, because we'll have around. It's a little long ways out, 20 laps before we get our next green flag pit stop. So we'll see if Ryan Whitlock wants to try to underpit the OU driver up front of John Hagan.
Yeah, Ryan Whitlock is still up there in second. He's done really well. We got a car in the wall in the background. That is, I believe, Lucas Moody, I want to say. I think that's Lucas Moody. It is Lucas Moody. Lucas Moody in the wall back there in 8th, and he's going to hope that hasn't affected his car too much, or else he might be in some trouble here for the last 44 laps of this race, or at least the rest of this fuel run until he can come down and maybe get some of that front wing beat out if he did get any damage.
Yeah.
Cohen Evans in 11th is on the bumper of Cale Davidson. They're both loose out of the corner, but Cohen Evans is going to get the better run down the straightaway. He'll take it up the inside of Cale Davidson, and he'll take the spot away from the Indiana native. Cohen Evans up to 10th, Cale Davidson back to 11th, and now Jordan Johnson is going to look to threaten both of these drivers because he is back in 12th. And now we got a battle for 3rd. Wyatt Burton's been lurking for a while, and he finally makes it happen up the inside of Ricky Paz to take a spot on the podium, away from another driver who may go to East Carolina University, but he is from Indiana at heart, and he is looking to get a good result in his home race. Back to 4th for now, though.
Yeah, and Ricky, unfortunately, he's been hounding on those tires. I've been watching him. He's just been washing up the track a little bit too much. Those rears are getting hot, and I mentioned in the pre-race show, you got to protect those rears, and it looks like it's Cohen Evans making the pass on Jordan Johnson. So Kent State driver going through the field right now, and Jordan Johnson trying to hold on, but we see right there behind him, Cale Davidson. He smells opportunity as he's going to try and get close, but not close enough down into turn 1. Oh, but he gets to send in Jordan Johnson side. Cohen Evans tried to hold off, but he could not. And the Kent State driver caught lacking. Oh, sorry. Cohen Evans caught lacking. Jordan Johnson making the pass on the inside.
Yeah, Jordan Johnson in the last lap has made more moves than Kent State's football team has all year, as we've got a car off in the background. That is Nick Stockner, the alumni from Clemson University, in trouble there, but we're not going to get a caution because he slid off the racetrack. I don't think he even hit anything, and he got it back on before doing any damage to his car.
Sky, just like I was talking about earlier, the rear tires, Nick Stockner, he spun out of turn 2. His rears absolutely on fire, was the first ones to go out. So as I was saying and mentioning all the time now, especially now that we're getting into the 20 lap range on these tires, it's all about how you were saving them, how were you babying them, because once they overheat, especially out of 2 and out of 4, it's gonna be all about just throttle control and just really about how you're turning in, how smooth you are. And unfortunately, we just saw Nick Stockner, a recent victim of that.
Yeah, speaking of bad tires, Ricky Paz in 4th. He has checked out from Wyatt Burton. He's 1.2 back of Wyatt Burton. We only saw that move happen a couple laps ago, and he's already dropped like 0.4 of a second per lap to that 26 car. He's rapidly falling into the clutches of our Muhammad Alif. He has no toe from Burton in front of him. And Ricky Paz, I think he's blown through his tires because he is losing a lot of time here, rapidly falling back towards that train of Alif, Viton, and Halterman that makes up 5th through 7th in this race.
I was going to mention, Ricky is dropping like a rock. He is fading and fading fast as Wyatt Burton is just getting ever so smaller and smaller in front of him. And just a driver's update for Nick Stockner. He has went into the pits. He's gotten fresh tires. He's back on the racetrack. First one lap down. So not too bad of a recovery for the birthday boy. First of all, happy birthday to Nick Stockner, our CIL Cup director. I could not go without saying happy birthday to him. So happy birthday to the man in the 124 Clemson machine.
To him, I'm sure he's not as happy in the car right now, though, because he's still got to do another pit stop. He doesn't have enough. I highly doubt he has enough fuel in that thing to make it the next 39 laps. So he's not only going to have to pit there to get new tires on it, but he's going to have to pit to get new fuel with about 5 to go in this race. This is for position. This is Ben Fiore up the inside of Jason Wallet for 16th. They're going to stay side by side in 3, and Jason Wallet will hold the spot for now on Ben Fiore coming out of turn 4, and he'll get a good run down the front straightaway. But Fiore's got that toe, and it's going to let him get right back to the bumper of Jason Wallet. Nothing going on there, though, and Wallet will get away down the short chute.
But just to mention right there, Jason Wally, he has 10 lap fresher tires to Ben Fiore, but you might be wondering, how the hell is Ben Fiore getting so close to him? It's that toe. That draft is just that potent. But you saw that beautiful pass of Jason Wally around the outside out of turn 2 on Ben Fiore, so definitely that fresh tires helped him make the pass on the outside, but for how long does it help him out? As Garrett Vighton on the back end of Muhammad Ali. So we're on board there with the 42 car, and just, a little bit of tap on the wall for a leaf. But yeah, you see Ricky now holding up traffic. Jake Cummings right in front of them too. So we're kind of getting a little bit of a DRS train going on right now.
Ricky Paz is still dropping spots. He's going to get around the lap car of Jake Cummings here. But, I mean, I guess that's good for him because he's got a lap car in between himself and Alif. And Jake Cummings, it seems to actually be really holding up our Muhammad Alif. He took the air off that car there. And that, for now, is going to let Ricky Paz get away. Alif will get the run up the inside along with Garrett Vighton. But those cars are still going to have a little more time to go until they get back up to Paz to make that maneuver.
Yeah, a little bit of lap traffic, and that's something that these drivers got to look out for, is how do you get around them? And it looked like Garrett lost time there to Alif. He was still side by side in the middle of 1 and 2 with Jake Cummings on his inside. So I know they're friends, but I don't think Garrett's going to be too happy with how he was being driven there. So it's going to be also not only about driver error, but it's all about lap traffic too. So now the top three, I'm not top three, but you see those three drivers, Ricky, Alif, and Garrett, all trying to, and it looks like Alif is going to make a move on the inside. He's going to make it look easy, and he gets P4. But look behind him. Garrett is also wanted to take the opportunity as Ricky, once again, dropping positions. Can he hold on here as they go back down on the backstretch here?
Yeah, he's burned up those tires bad. He's going to get a run on Alif here, and he might try to look up the inside to get that spot back. But I'm not sure how well the fight is going to go. And he won't even try it. Ricky Paz is struggling on tires right now. He does not have a lot of speed in that car, and we've seen him fall from 3rd all the way back to a very distant 5th, and now under threat from Vighton and Halterman, who are 6th and 7th respectively. Look a little further up here, because Wyatt Burton has caught the field. Wyatt Burton might be the fastest car on the track. Caution's out.
Marlo Duncan spun out of turn 1, it looks like, and he got into the wall into turn 2. Oh, yes, he did not turn enough. His right front is damaged, and he's towed it back to pit lane. That was T21. But look at that. It's 34 laps to go. I mean, they can go in. They can get tires, and Ricky, who was suffering, he was falling, he was fading, has survived. He's got a caution now and can go back in with fresh tires and go at it again.
Yeah, but he's got good news for Ricky Paz, but the bad news is for Wyatt Burton. He had the fastest car on track there. Just bar none. He was the quickest car on the racetrack, and now he's got to try and do it again and get back up to the pace that he had just a couple laps ago to try and chase down those leaders.
I mean,
we can get a replay of what happened to Marlo Duncan. It looked like he hit the fence out of there and then got lost and tried to take the road course, and it just didn't work out for him.
Yeah, right there. Once again, that right front failed. And I was also looking back at Marlo Duncan's lap times and his lap.
He's on the road course here.
He absolutely destroyed that right front, but not even in that instant, but before. He would send it in too deep and use up that right front by turning in and not really using those rears. So you saw it over time. At a point, that right front is just not going to turn at all, and straight into a wall, you're going to go at 220 miles per hour. But Sky, look at that.
There.
Look at the
graphic. Look at my guy. Look at my man. My man, John Hagan, right here. First place in the race for the University of Oklahoma. He's got this race on lock right now, and he's going to lead everybody down into the pit lane with 33 to go. This is going to be the last pit stop of the race, and John Hagan will lead him on to work it out.
As we see there, the nice OU helmet on the bottom right there for John Hagan. Very nice job for the graphics guys there. But John Hagan up front, we'll see who's going to be in and out of pit road quick enough, because right there, you see right behind him is Ryan Whitlock. So let's see, he goes in, he does not spin the tires. Looks like they're going to put on the 4 fresh Firestone tires and fuel for this last stint of the race. And it's going to be John Hagen first out of the pits. Ryan Whitlock also getting on the gas. Oh, he gets a little bit loose. Oh, Gary Viton, he's going to pass somebody right there. He's going to gain a position. I think that was, I believe that was Clint Halterman.
The couple cars. He jumped Clint Halterman, he jumped Wyatt Burton, and he jumped Ricky Paz. Viton up 3 spots in the pit lane.
Oh, look at that. Wyatt Burton. He's stuck behind. Oh, no. Yeah, it looked like Wyatt Burton was the end of the stick. He loses 2 positions off of that pit road, and he's stuck there in P6. I'm sorry, he was in P3, down 3 positions. Sky, remember what I told in the pre-race show in the pit road? It's going to be all about driver going into the pits. How can you get into your pit box as quick as you can and how fast you can? And so looking back at the replay here, it looked like Wyatt Burton spun those tires out of pit road, and he lost all those positions from that.
Yeah, so it's going to be a couple cars here who are trying to get a wave around. That'll be Alex Finnerty, Thornton Thomas, and Nick Stockner, all of whom have not stayed out. They're going to try to get either pit a lap down there, because that's Thornton Thomas coming in the pits. Alex Finnerty and Nick Stockner are going to look to get a wave around. So will Thornton Thomas, who's decided he wants to fake a pit stop while 18th, 1 lap down. But they're going to try to get a wave round here to get back on the lead lap, and hopefully that will help them be a little more competitive in this race here.
Yeah, but so Nick Stockner, Thornton Thomas, and Alex Finnerty, they are going to get the wave around. But Sky, it's like you said before, right? They're not going to make it on fuel, and they didn't even pit this time. So, I mean, they're going to have to hope for another caution, as there's now 19 cars in the lead lap, with 3 of them definitely not going to make it to the end if we go green.
Yeah, Thornton Thomas and Finnerty are definitely not. I think, depending on how much gas Nick Stockner has been saving, he might have a shot. We saw him pit with 39 to go. It's really, really pushing it, but if he saved enough gas on this run, and if he maybe even needs to get some cautions, he could theoretically make it. The problem is, what does that really do for him? Because he's got about 10 lap older tires, and he's now at the back of the line, so he doesn't even get the track position advantage of not pitting.
I know. I got something for you, Sky. I know what it can do for him if he still stays out. If a lot of cautions comes out, he will pass people. Right? Cars will be wrecked out in front of him. If he gets through the wrecks, it's worth it to stay out. If he gains 5-6 positions in a wreck here, on this, hopefully no wreck on this restart, as the pace car has turned off the lights. Sky.
Thornton Thomas pit there, by the way. I don't know if he's going to go back a lap down, but he came back into the pits as the pace car is going to take us back to green.
And
hey,
he
will get it off in front. All right, so we're going to go back to the pace car. The lights are out. John Hagen is going to lead him back to green for the University of Oklahoma. They're in the lead with Ryan Whitlock in second and Muhammad Alif in third. We're going to go back to the green. John Hagen will lead him away, and he gets a great jump on the restart to keep himself out in front of Whitlock and Alif. Not a great jump for Wyatt Burton, and that's going to hold up everyone behind him, including Ricky Paz in 7th and Lucas Moody in 8th. They're going to have to close that gap back up down the straightaway here. Battle for a couple spots further back.
That was wide for Alif. Alif getting out wide. Garrett Viton now trying to make a run at him. And also Ryan Whitlock makes a run at John Hagen on the inside. 2 cars battles it out. Ryan Whitlock on the bottom makes the pass. No, they're still side by side. John Hagen's going to try and hold out on the outside. Down out of turn 3 into 4. Can John Hagen? No, he falls back into line. He's going to try and make a run here. Down the front stretch. He's going to be getting that nice trap. Ryan Whitlock is not going to move to defend. He's going to stay on the outside. John Hagen on the inside. And he's going to make the pass and be the race leader once again.
John Hagen, big move out of him right there. The gloves are off. 29 laps to go. These drivers are going to go for it. We saw a lot of riding around earlier. Car staying in line, and Cale Davidson with a big accident. The hometown hero is into the fence.
Cale Davidson, unfortunately, looks like his rear spoiler has hanging loose. But trying to look back here at what happened, it looks like there was a check. Oh, no. It looks like Cale Davidson hit the wall on the outside of turn 1. And so right now we're going to see a replay. All of them jostling for position. But you see there in the red and white of Cale Davidson. Oh, I think he got a little bit of contact from Logan Smith. Made him go up high. And then get down and hit Logan Smith. And that's when Cale Davidson spun it around. So I think maybe Logan Smith gave a little bit of a bumper to Cale going to turn 1 and caused them loose. Sky, what do you think?
We're going to maybe get another angle of that here. We'll see how it goes. I don't think Cale Davidson hit the wall, but I don't think it's going to matter too much because he's probably got a lot of damage from hitting Logan Smith of Auburn. Yep, Logan Smith punted him. That was a bit of a dump and run there into the corner, but it didn't work out because he ended up wrecking himself in the process. Cale Davidson not into the wall, but Logan Smith should give him plenty of damage to maybe slow his race car down and maybe put him a lap down.
What can I say? These binoculars cannot lie. I had a feeling that Cale Davidson got a little bit of a help from, looks like it, from Logan Smith. But, yeah, it looks like Cale is out of the car, and Cale Davidson is saying the car is killed. So, unfortunately, for the Ball State University driver, not going to be ending up on the lead lap, it looks like, for tonight, as it looks like some drivers looking on the inside. Ricky Paz looking to go into the pit lane.
Interesting.
Are we getting fresh tires? Do you think fresh tires are really going to make a big difference here, Scott?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say really, I don't think so. We've only ran about 5 laps. I don't see how this is going to work out for him because he's going to have to drive through the field again. Maybe this is just a top up on gas, but I mean, you think he would have gotten enough of that on the last one. I'm really not sure here.
Yeah, I wouldn't really have done that unless he believes he got some contact there. Looks like I'm trying to listen to the radio of the 19 car. It seems like they might have tagged somebody, so probably going in to fix some repairs. As yeah, it looks like you got Ricky, Jason, Logan, Nick Stockner. Nick Stockner. I mean, remember what I said earlier? He lucked out. He got a caution, got in, get those fresh tires. Now fresher than the guys that, well, I mean, those 3 guys up front of him probably got tires too, but Nick Stockner now on the level playing field, but perhaps those top 12 who stayed out, they're probably going to be under the attack by these 4 guys right here.
Yeah, it will be really interesting to see how this develops. I mean, a 13th is bad, but you've got to pass about 12 cars in 27 laps, and I just don't really think that's going to work out for him. He's got a lot of ground to cover in not a lot of time, and I'm just not sure if that's going to help him out at all, or if, I mean, I just don't think he's going to be able to drive back to the field in this short an amount of time.
And one thing to note, folks, with 27 laps to go, is the pace car going in? No, the pace car lights are still on, so we're gonna go one more time around. So right there, as you see, folks, all the survivors so far, 17 cars on the lead lap, some cars still on, as you see Jake Cummings going back into the pit road to perhaps get as much damage fixed. But yeah, one of the drivers who's 8 laps down, that is Jake Cummings, who still trying to maybe salvage some points here. So I'd give the CIL toughest driver of the race, I'm gonna give it to Jake Cummings. The man has been in and out of wrecks left and right, but still staying in it. You know, he's still trying to do his best. 8 laps.
He's been trying to get a good points position this season, and I think that's paying off for him. He's 21st. He's having a great time on the camera.
Look at
He's
that
just
smile.
trying to make some points out of this race, and he figures the more cars wreck, the more points he gets. That's about his game plan right now, and he might get another in these coming laps with 26 to go, because I think we are going to see some chaos. Also, I want to just give a quick stewards update here. Logan Smith, who is still on the racetrack, will be given strike 1 and a drive-through penalty on the restart for a collision with Cale Davidson.
So I honestly, with 26 laps to go right now, we're about to go green with 25 laps to go. So a quarter of a way there to the start and finish line to kiss the brick. But Sky, yo man, John Hagan up front, the 27 has been holding off a hard charging Ryan Whitlock, but with getting these restarts, he's been learning more and more. Ryan Whitlock picking up the habits of our race leader. So can he do something this time around as the pace car goes into the pits right about now? John Hagan getting ready to start it out. Ryan Whitlock tried to hold on. It's green flag, and away we go once again, racing here at the Yard of Bricks.
John Hagan with a great restart there, gets off way sooner than Ryan Whitlock, who stuck back there in second. Our Muhammad Alif still third. Garrett Vighton got a pretty good jump on that restart, but he's not quite able to get anything going down the straightaway. He'll have to look to the back straightaway if he wants any sort of move on Alif. but he maybe got a bit
I think
far
he is,
back.
he's
No,
there.
Garrett Vighton is there. We got 2 battles. We got Whitlock up the inside of John Hagen. We got Garrett Vighton to the outside of our Muhammad Ali. 2 by 2 down into turn 3. It's going to be Whitlock for the lead, and they're still side by side behind him. And it's going to be Garrett Vighton for third. Now Halterman side by side with Alif, but Alif will get it for now. Towing down the straightaway. It's going to be Hagen. He's going to jump to the outside of Whitlock now. Back down into turn 1. Here we go again.
Oh,
Hagen's going to get the move around the outside, and he will hold the lead over Ryan Whitlock.
But he got a really late entry. Oh, and Wyatt Whitlock, he washed up a little bit, but I think it was John Hagen actually going to the bottom. Weaving, I mean, that's a lot of weaving. I don't know if that's allowed, but looks like John Hagen trying to hold him off, but Ryan Whitlock, he's not going to send it in there, but look who's behind them. Garrett Vighton, and behind him, Alif trying to hold off Clay Halterman. And Clay Halterman, oh, he gets a little bit loose, and it looks like it's going to be Wyatt Burton. Where did he come from?
He's coming back to the field. He had a bad pit stop. He's going to make it up. He's back up to 5th for Wyatt Burton. Now his sights are on Alif. Drew Williams has his sights on Clint Halterman. He's come all the way from the back, and Drew Williams is now trying to get something going today. He's up to 7th. Clint Halterman up to 6th. Burton, who had the fastest car earlier, is trying to get back up to the top 3, while Alif is starting to fall back from Garrett Vighton in 3rd. 7/10 of a second, the gap between those 2 cars.
Oh, as we saw there, Wyatt entering really shallow. He tried to cut off Clint Halterman, give him that dirty air, nearly hits the wall, but you see how close these drivers are trying to get out of this track, as far as low to the grass and as far as high to the outer banks into that safety barrier. As right now, Ryan Whitlock gets another tow by John Hagen, but doesn't make anything happen. 22 laps to go here at the Yard of Bricks.
Yeah, he's starting to drop back a little bit. He's not going to get much closer in this corner with the dirty air, and he's going to have a lot of time to kill. John Hagen does not want Whitlock to draft with him at all. He is weaving all over this straightaway. The less draft Whitlock gets, the better, and he wants to make it happen. He is going to go back and forth, up and down these front straightaways as much of the track as he possibly can. They gave him the whole straightaway, and he's going to use every last inch of it, trying to stay ahead of Ryan Whitlock for the lead.
Sky, why wasn't your pick John Hagen? I mean, your guy up front leading. I mean, Wyatt Burton also trying to make a pass on the outside of Alif. He's going to try and go up high.
Oh, he's in the fence.
He's in the fence. I don't know how much damage he got. Maybe that was an iRacing bug, but he's still there trying to hold on to Alif. So Wyatt Burton, man, oh man, a Wyatt Burton win would feed generations. But right now, he's going to have to get past Alif and Vighton and Whitlock and Hagen to make that possible.
Yeah, Wyatt Burton's been Mr. Excitement today because he's been going at it since the green flag. Drove up through the field, got to 3rd. Bad pit stop put him back to 7th, and he is going to try his damn best to get back up there. He's in 5th right now, and he's going to try to get around Alif, who's completely losing that lead pack of Vighton and Whitlock, and that might give Burton the drafting help he needs to get this 4th place position for now, as Alif drops back from Vighton, who's also dropping back from Whitlock, making this a 2-car lead at the front of the field.
Count your days for John Hagen. I'm sorry, Sky, but John Hagen is absolutely destroying those right fronts. The way that he's entering the corner, he's going in much more later and having to arc it out not too well. As right now, Ryan Whitlock has a chance right there. He's trying to get a tow down the front stretch. He's getting closer. Now less than a car length. He's going to look on the inside. John Hagen's on the outside. Now they're both side by side going down into turn 1. Ryan Whitlock holding on to the inside. John Hagen not letting him go. Still side by side out of turn 1. Down into turn 2. Can Ryan Whitlock hold it on? He does, but not yet, as John Hagen's still trying to hold off to the outside. And he does! Ryan Whitlock clears him, but am I calling it too soon? John Hagen on the outside, trying to make something happen into turn 3. He does not! And Ryan Whitlock takes the lead.
And look a little further back. Fastest lap of the race, Wyatt Burton in P5th, trying to chase down our Muhammad Alif. This might not be over yet because this battle is still going. Whitlock is still on the inside of Hagen, and don't look now, but Garrett Vighton is right in the fight. This battle for this battle for the top 2 might turn into a battle for the top 3. They're still side by side in 2, and finally Whitlock will get it. Hagen is gonna have to get the tow down the straightaway.
He's gonna do it.
And he will.
But don't worry, folks. Look behind. Garrett Vighton holding up top. He wants these two drivers to keep fighting. He doesn't care who's going to take it because Garrett is up there right now. But John Hagen, slow on the inside as Ryan Whitlock is going to have a better run on the outside. And they're still side by side. Door, bumper, right there, side by side. Door, right there for John Hagen. On the inside, can he make something happen? Can he hold off to Ryan Whitlock on the outside? He can't. Still, side by side, they're eating up their tires. Almost making contact out of turn 1. John Hagen still holding it on the inside. But Ryan Whitlock, with that beautiful run on the outside, he's able to hold it up. But once again, John Hagen with the toe on the inside. He's going to go back on the inside again.
Yeah, the happiest driver in the field right now. We're on board with him. It's Garrett Vighton. Because these two are going at it. Hagen takes the lead again. But they are destroying their tires. They're burning so much fuel in the process of this. And as they swerve back and forth down the straight, Garrett Vighton is just getting closer and closer. Play the Jaws music as he is getting up there in a hurry. 4/10 for Vighton as they're side by side again for the lead. It's Ryan Whitlock still up the inside of John Hagen, and they still can't make any progress, and they'll stay side by side down the back straightaway heading into 3.
I don't know how long they're going to last like this, Sky, because John Hagen and Ryan Whitlock, they keep swapping it out. One goes on the bottom, and then 2 laps later, they go up high. And so it's going to be about how long they can last as John Hagen has a run now. He's on the inside again with Ryan Whitlock. Can he make it stick? No. Look at those tire difference. He's not even going to be able to make a big run. He's still side by side, barely in front of Ryan Whitlock as John Hagen sends it in on the inside. He's going to wash up. He's going to cut him off. No, he does not. Ryan Whitlock, he's going to take a wider entry here. He's going to have a better run here on the outside. Yes, he does. He's going to look on the inside. Down to the grass. What a run by John Hagen. Can he hold him off? No. Still side by side. Down into turn 3. And Ryan Whitlock, he's going to take the lead again.
He's back to the lead. He's Ryan Whitlock on the rig. He's so calm. He's so focused. He wants this battle. He's all in, trying to take this lead away from John Hagen. We are still swerving all over the place down the front straightaway, and it's Hagen back to his outside into turn 1 and 2. This battle's been going for 6 laps. They've been side by side forever, and they're not stopping anytime soon. Hagen's gonna pinch him off the corner, and he's going to get the lead, but Whitlock gets the better run. This is not over yet, and the more they do this, the more it allows the cars behind to gain time. The more Vighton joins this battle, the more Relief joins this battle, the more Wyatt Burton joins this battle, and as they keep going at it, the cars behind him are saying, please, please, keep banging into each other, because it's only going to make our chances better.
No, wait, hold on, I'm sorry. Ryan Whitlock had a chance to pass John Hagen. He actually brake checked. He was letting off. He didn't try to pass him. I think Ryan Whitlock decides to give him the lead. He said, I'm done fighting. I think his tires were so close to dying out that he wanted, I think Ryan Whitlock did the right thing. I think he thought going into turn 1 again side by side was not going to work. So he decided to lift off and cool off those tires and potentially, just maybe Sky, these engines can get a little bit too hot, right?
I mean, we're going to see how this works here. They have to be using a lot of their tires going after each other. Hagen is swerving. Whitlock will try and jump him again. He stayed behind for a lap, and he's going to say he doesn't want to stay behind anymore. Whitlock to the lead. It's now Hagen around the outside. As we've seen so often, he's going to hold it out of the corner, but now coming out of 2, Whitlock will try to slide up in front of him, and he can't quite get there. It's Hagen still to the outside, down the back straightaway. This battle started with 20 to go. We're down to 12 to go. We've spent almost half the remaining laps of this race with Hagen and Whitlock battling like their lives are on the line, and Whitlock will hold it for now out of 4.
No, John Hagen, another run on the inside once again. Bumper, door, side by side still. John Hagen now, bumper, nearly clear, and he does. But Ryan Whitlock not giving up on the outside. He's still smashed on the gas into 5th gear. He's going to look on the inside, get that clean air, but gets a little bit of that dirty air. He washes up high, but once again, gets another run. John Hagen weaving down to the inside, to the outside, left and right. John Hagen being crawled around, and it looks like Ryan Whitlock down in the inside, close contact between these two race leaders. I mean, Sky, how far can you think they can last doing this?
This absolute chaos. They're still side by side down the front stretch. You see the weaving going on whenever one of them takes the lead, and the whole snake of cars behind them trying to stay in the draft of these two. They are
10 laps to
still
go.
side by side. Contact. Ryan Whitlock is on the inside. He spun it out.
No,
And he's into another
no!
car. Caution is out.
No!
And it's
Come
ended
on!
in disaster.
No! Come on! That is not what you want to see. It looked like John Hagen got a little bit loose on the outside. Yeah, so if we can get a replay soon enough, folks. But you saw John Hagen hit the wall. He clipped the wall just ever so slightly and coming down. Oh, I'm sorry, folks, but that was actually netcode. That was the worst netcode I've ever seen. John Hagen only a foot off of Ryan Whitlock. They made contact. Ryan Whitlock gets loose. And I mean, once that car starts turning, there's no chance of saving it. Sky, take us through here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so John Hagen's got the outside down the straightaway. I had to take a moment there. That was absurd. We got Whitlock on the inside. We got Hagen on the outside. They go down into one. It looks like Hagen just gets a little loose out of the corner. Yeah, and they netcode. He netcodes Whitlock. The iRacing servers are awful, and they make him hit Whitlock, and Clint Halterman comes along to get collected. Nowhere he could have gone there.
Darn you, iRacing netcode. We had the most spectacular racing for the first place. With 10 laps to go. I mean, we were fighting since lap 25. That was 16 laps of them dogfighting left and right, passing each other. I mean, that's a, I think, lead change. That was like a lead change record right there in our CILFC history. But man, oh man, oh man. Unfortunately, looks like Ryan Whitlock got the end of that stick with John Hagen surviving. But I mean, Scott, well, we're going to go green with 7 laps to go, I believe. But would John Hagen go in to get fresh tires? Would Garrett go in and maybe take other people with fresh tires?
We're going to see.
We're
who's going to come down. Some cars kind of deacon to the inside. No one will do it. And the first car down is going to be Ricky Paz back in 15th.
Once again, Ricky.
Oh no, he's going to fake it.
Ooh,
almost hits the pit entry
the
wall.
wall.
So it's going to be mostly some lappers, some Jake Cummings guys who are already a lap down coming down. And Race Control has said, as to that incident, netcode issue. It is the fault of the iRacing servers, and there will be no penalty for John Hagen. That might be the greatest battle I've seen in the CIL ever.
The greatest battle.
Ever. I've been here for about a year and a half now, and that is the greatest battle I've ever seen in CIL. That was absolutely insane.
Chef Kiss. That's like a dish from Ratatouille if Remy cooked that up. That was a spectacular race. Unfortunate ending, but Sky, that was 17 laps non-stop fighting, and you and I taking turns commentating this side-by-side battle. But man, oh man, hear me out. Look at my pick. Look at your pick. Second and third, and we saw John Hagen fighting it, duking it out. So do you think John Hagen can hold off these two fast chargers with maybe fresher tires?
Well, we're going to find out now. Man, if that happened in real life IndyCar, they would have had to put Lee Diffie in a straitjacket. That was absolute chaos. I cannot believe what I just saw there. That was maybe the greatest thing I've ever seen in CIL. We've got Hagen. We've still got 8 more laps to go in this race. This is not over at all. The lights are still on, so we're going to do one more here. And then, I believe with 6 to go, we're going to go back green. It's John Hagen first, Vighton second, Alif third. Wyatt Burton might be the underdog here in 4th. He's got a great chance of this. And then some drivers we've got to slowly work their way forwards. Charles Wimbley 5th, Drew Williams 6th, Ben Fiore 7th. Fastest lap of the race goes to Cohen Evans in 8th. So anything is possible as we head down to the end of this thing. This is something. Alright, internet issues in the commentary booth. Wyatt Burton is going to have to try to make a move. We saw him run some really fast laps earlier. We saw him, honestly, the fastest car on the track for a while on that second run. Hasn't quite had the same pace here. But now you got to ask yourself, while Hagen and Whitlock were absolutely trying to kill each other there in that battle, Vighton didn't make any moves. Alif, Burton, Wimbley, none of them really made any moves. They all hung back, kept their tires fresh, didn't do anything crazy, and that might pay off for him here, because with 6 laps to go, they might get a chance to pass him. Lights are off on the pace car, so this is going to be a green flag. This time we're going to go back green with 6 seconds to go. Formula College Series. We're going to see how this works out. It's going to be John Hagen. He's got a great resource over the last couple. Will he be able to get another good resource, or will Garrett Viton stay with him down the back stretch into turn 1? We're going to come through turn 2. We're going to find out right here. Yeah, a couple cars. This is going to be really interesting, I think, between the first few cars. We are having some iRacing technical difficulties, but we're going to get this back going here. I am still with you. John Hagen is in first. Viton is in second. Armhamid Alif, third. Boomer Sooner in first. He's going to try to get away from it. Pace car is going to come in this time, and we're going to go back green with 6 to go in this race. It's John Hagen on pole. It's Garrett Viton in second. And another great jump for John Hagen will take him to the line. So Hagen gets a great jump for the lead. It's Viton in second. Alif right on the back of Viton, and Wyatt Burton is about 2/10 back trying to get something going there. Bit of a gap forming, not just between Hagen and Viton, but between Burton and Wembley for 4th. Those are your two kind of furthest gaps in this initial pack. Hagen is already starting the weaving. He's going back and forth down the straightaway, trying to get any advantage he can over Garrett Viton, and we're 3 wide behind him. Williams, Wembley, Burton 3 wide into the corner, and Wembley's going to make it out with 4th. So we've got Charles Wembley up 2 spots to 4th. Wyatt Burton back 2 spots to 6th, and Drew Williams still in 5th. The snake of cars is just back and forth constantly down the straightaway. It's Hagen over Viton over Alif. These 2 cars within half a second, but that 3 wide separates them. Charles Wembley head on into the inside wall. Big accident. Huge hit for Nick Stockner, and the caution's out. And we might have... Is that it, or is that going to be a 1 or 2 lap shootout? This might be a 1 lap shootout. We're going to find out. We're going to see when the lights go off on the pace car, and we're going to figure out if we're going back green with 1 to go, 2 to go, or none to go. That is going to be the question. I'm actually going to I'm literally just going to ask our steward here. It's race sponsored to get your COVID and flu shots 250 at the Brickyard, sponsored by our steward, Alex Halinar. Are we going back green or no? Yeah, we're going to get a replay of Charles Wembley going head on into the fence here. He is running 4th when it happens. He goes into 1 and 2. Everything's normal. And he hits the fence. Hit the fence hard at a 2. Pinballs the G-force on that car across the racetrack, and nowhere to go. Nick Stockner involved, and he's out of the race as well. That might be it. I think we're going to have a couple different schools of thought. John Hagen is hoping that is it. And Garrett Viton is hoping this isn't it. Garrett Viton's hoping we can get another couple laps in. I don't think anyone wants to see the race end like that except for John Hagen. But that's how it might go for him. We'll see if the stewards maybe speed this up a little bit to try and get us back green. Or if we just let it run here. Trying to get an answer from our steward for this race sponsor, Alex Halinar, if we're going green. So my pick starting the race was Armhamid Alif. He's still running 3rd. He's had a great run, but I think my driver of the day is going to be the Clemson car of Drew Williams. He started pretty far back in this field. He's gained a ton of positions. He's come up through the field up to 4th, and he's had a great day. The lights are still on. So if the lights go off next time, it will be 1 to go. It will be 1 to go. If the lights do not go off... Okay. So if the lights go off this time, it's going to be 1 to go. If the lights do not go off, it's race over. So we're going to see what the pace car does this time around, and that will determine the finish of this race. What are your thoughts on this, Edward?
My thoughts, I mean, first of all, I was watching this while I was doing damage control. Unfortunately, my connection was out. I'm going to kill whoever's on my Wi-Fi. But anyways, I saw Charles Wembley absolutely hit the wall out of turn 1. Unfortunately, yes, that right front tire is just, oh man, I was really rooting for the Guilford College man. He got a really good race finish in Cup race.
Boys, one lap shootout to decide the Indy 250.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
So, just to let you know, just to say my pick, he's in P2 right now. You're picking P3, but it's John Hagen for Ohio University.
Hey.
Oklahoma University up front.
We don't
John
associate
Hagen.
with those fools at Ohio State.
I'm so sorry, P27. And right now, looks like
Oregon,
it's going to be...
no. Ohio, no. Boomer Sooner.
My biggest apologies to Oklahoma. But yeah, my driver of the day, honestly, is going to be Wyatt Burton, the number 26, not because he has my driver number, but because he's went through the field. He's been in and out, above and below, but he's always there to fight for a chance, and you never know what's going to happen in this next lap.
Lights are out on the pace car. We're going back green this time with 1 to go in the Get Your COVID and Flu Shots 250 at the Brickyard, and it is going to be all to play for. Can Hagen get away? Can Vighton get him back? Will anyone die coming to the start-finish line? All questions that will be answered here in a matter of minutes when this pace car pulls off and we get back rolling.
I just know Arizona State University are watching Garrett right now, cheering him on. Oklahoma University cheering on for John Hagen. And of course, Ball State University, because Alif is always going to be there. As right now, it's going to be the pace car. We have the pace car off. We have the drivers up. And Sky, just a little update. 14 cars on the lead lap starting on this last restart. What are your thoughts on that, quickly?
I think all 14 of those guys think they have a shot to win this race. And
Hell
we're gonna
yeah.
see that here.
As pace car down out of turn 3 into turn 4. The drivers are swerving, getting their tires, cleaning off the rubber. Folks, one more lap around. Who's going to take it at the first ever Indy Oval debut? It is lights out on the pace car. John Hagen leads us into green, and the green flag waves. It's going to be one more time around. Here we go. Let's go.
Hagen's already weaving. We have not even hit the line. Hagen's back and forth down the straightaway, and it's working because he's got a huge run over Vighton. It's 4/10 back to Garrett Vighton for John Hagen. He comes out of 1. He's got a big lead. If Vighton's going to do something, he needs to do it now. 0.3 of a second. Here he comes down the back straightaway. They're weaving back and forth, but he has a run. Does he have enough of a run? He might be there. Vighton's all in. He's going to go around the outside, but he doesn't have it. It's Vighton on John Hagen. One more time for Garrett Vighton down into 4. He's got the inside. He's close, but he's not close enough. And John Hagen from the University of Oklahoma gets it done in Indianapolis.
Oklahoma University, your little boy has done it. John Hagen is a CIL FC winner at the Indy Oval for the first time in the Indy Oval for the debut on the FC. Oh my Lord, John Hagen, you've done it. You've swept the CIL. He's won it on Monday. He's won it on Wednesday. John Hagen is your race winner tonight.
Boomer. Boomer.
Go ahead, Scott.
Texas sucks.
Go ahead, Scott. Let it out.
Whoa. I'll tell you what, I think I had about a sinus attack on that last lap. That was crazy. That was absolutely everything right there. And John Hagen, second race win this week, wins on debut in the Formula College Series. And he is going to kiss the bricks. They'll do a burnout. No rule about not burning out on the bricks in this series. He can have all the fun he wants.
I mean, Sky, if you won this race, how could you not burn it down? This was the biggest and craziest race. And honestly, one of the crown jewels of CIL. And this man right here, the 27, is our race winner. Not only tonight's winner, a CIL FC debut race winner. His first ever attempt. My God. And he burns it down. Sky, I bet you want to go down there and celebrate with him, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I got posed the question of what milk he's drinking, and I think he might go to Brahms and just get a milkshake after this. That's the Oklahoma tradition. He'll burn it down on the bricks.
All right, Sky. So
yeah.
as your teammate here, your school teammate wins his first ever CLFC race and wins it at the Yard of Bricks. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, they're calling me the
tell us
Jeff
emotions.
Burton of CIL. The way I absolutely lost my voice on that last lap.
You almost hit the back of my head celebrating, weren't you?
Yeah, I mean, if I get laryngitis for the second time this month, we know what caused it. He got it done, and that's all that matters.
All that matters is he won it, and oh my God, look at those
Man,
tire marks.
I was so hard. I was so sweaty taking off the end of that race. I took off the suit. It was hard. I was sweating up in here.
Oh my God, look at him perfectly sit. He parked there on the Yard of Bricks. Oh my God, part of my green screen fell. Oh Lord. But John Hagen, your race winner tonight. Oh my God, if you guys are watching this right now and you haven't hit that like button, hit it right now, or you're gonna get a 4X in your next Indy official race, because by God, that was the best race I've ever commented on. Sky, I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10.
11.
11.
Oh, look at how much redder I am compared to when we started this broadcast about an hour and a half ago. That was maybe the greatest race I've seen in CIL. That was absolute chaos, and I loved every second of it. I mean, what's not to love? We had a 12 lap insane battle for the lead. The finish came down to the last corner. We had about 5 cars flip over. That's everything you can want in an iRacing event.
And I was gonna say, yeah, John Hagen just said he's gonna have almond milk right now. So,
Hagen's having almond. Oh, I'm gonna have to have
having,
a word with him after this one.
But Scott,
I'm gonna have to have a word with him.
Let's keep the energy going, as right now we got our mic downstairs, and we're gonna pull him up.
Word with him after this.
John Hagen, let's bring him into the booth.
Shit.
Sky, take us
Hey, John.
away.
Hi.
Hello.
Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Yeah, walk us through kind of that last 5 laps where the caution came out and you maybe thought, oh, it's over, and then we went back with a 1-lap shootout and you had to hold off Garrett Vighton.
I'm sitting there like, oh my goodness, is it over? Because we're gonna go through to Fortigo and we pick up the pace car, but it wasn't. So I'm like, dang. All right, now I gotta figure out this restart, because I wasn't sure on the restart rules. I was like, can I swerve? Can I not swerve? Like, is that allowed? Because that was going to dictate when I was going to launch in the restart zone. So, or not restart zone, whenever the pace car dipped, since y'all do it differently over here. But yeah, and so launch, got out to a great launch. I knew from there it was just keep the dirty air on Garrett's nose, keep it on his nose, don't allow him to get any sort of straight line to my back to get some toe, and chopped the nose again in 4 and gave him dirty air, and here we are.
John Hagen. I mean, Sky was pumping her fist up for you that whole entire last restart. I mean, man, I know the feeling Garrett had watching you just take it away and seeing it from the back. I mean, I had that experience on Monday, which this is gonna round about here. You won on Monday. You win on Wednesday. You swept the CIL week. How does that make you feel?
To be honest, I didn't even consider running this race till 4:30. So let's go. That's how it makes me feel. Yeah. I have some history here at Indy in Cup and am I allowed to say that word?
Yes.
Yeah.
IndyCar. I have experience in
Yes,
Cup and IndyCar here.
Yeah, we can say it. We can say it. Say it with your chest.
But yeah, no, I have in other leagues. I've had some bad luck where I've had wins stripped away from me here, and I finally put one together. I was honestly surprised throughout the race. I mean, I stuck it in 4th for the first fuel run, and then pit cycle came through, and I ended up 2nd, and I was like, wow, okay. Then I went to 1st. I was like, okay. And then I was in my fuel number the whole way, so I wasn't super stressing, super saving, and I mean, clean air is the best there. So it was just awesome.
Take us through that battle with Ryan Whitlock, because that was maybe the craziest thing I've ever seen in CIL.
I mean, it was crazy behind the cockpit. I'm sitting here like, dang, he's not lifting. All right, I'm not either. And so, yeah, I mean, he lifting, I him and he wouldn't lift, or vice versa, or he'd get to my outside and I wouldn't lift. It was just crazy. I mean, back and forth, nothing more you could ask for. And it sucks that Netcode took him out. I guess iRacing thought that I was going to lose it when I got a touch loose there, and I had ended up keeping it straight. but the net code ended his night, and that sucks because that would have been awesome to see that finish all the way to the checkered with him because he was deserving. He did well all race, putting it up front, and he did everything he was supposed to do. So my condolences to him. I'm sorry about it, even if it was a touch net code, and I'm just glad that we could walk away with a victory.
Oh yeah, what milk you drinking?
So I was telling race control this. Y'all are gonna think I'm crazy and shun me.
I
hate
did.
Milk. I hate milk. I despise milk. I'm lactose intolerant, but I'll eat cheese. But I hate milk, right? So I guess I'll settle on some almond milk. Milkshake's an option. I'll do that too. But
Oh yeah, I was saying go to Brahms.
yeah. No, I think I'll keep it simple and do it almond milk just for it's actually milk.
You got anyone you want to shout out on the broadcast here tonight?
Yeah, shout out you, Sky. Awesome
Whoa!
teammate. Shout out my other OU esports teammate, Mario Miranda. He didn't make it tonight. The rest of the OU esports organization that was so gracious to let me join earlier in the year. Shout out my painter, John Smeal. He made an emergency paint scheme for this, and it was awesome because I'm a procrastinator and I didn't give him proper opportunity to figure out or to make a good paint. So he did awesome in the time that I gave him. Shout out my beautiful girlfriend. She's awesome. She loves to support me whenever I race. Shout out my family. They weren't watching this one because I didn't tell them about it, but they're awesome and they support me in the Cup Series on Monday nights. And just want to thank God for being awesome as always.
All right, congrats on the win, OU. Boomer Sooner, John
Boomer
Hagen.
Sooner.
All right.
I was gonna say that was our race winner, and Sky, as proud as you can be. But next up, I want to bring in. Our next guy up here is gonna be Garrett Vighton, and Garrett Vighton was a strong pick for me tonight, and I definitely know how it felt to finish second to this man in front in first place. So let's bring up Garrett to the booth.
Hey, Garrett.
Garrett. Hey, Garrett. Man, oh man. You saw what happened up front with Ryan Whitlock and with John Hagen battling it out for nearly 17 laps. You were laying back, saving those tires. A moment like this came around. I know how it feels to finish second to that man. On Monday at Nashville Super Speedway, I finished second behind him. You were right there. Talk to me through, man. How are the emotions?
Oh, I'm happy with it. It was, a good race. It's just fuel saving basically the entire time. It's always around a leaf, basically. I had a nice show to the 1-2 battle there for a long time. And then the net code happened between John and Ryan. It was about like a foot of it, and had a chance. Got arrow push in turn 4 on that last lap. If I go back and redo it, I'd take the outside there. But can't be upset with P2.
Sky.
So kind of walk us through that last lap there with that battle with Hagen, and I guess just what were your thoughts kind of with 5 to go there when that caution came out? And what were your thoughts coming to the line?
I just wanted to get a good restart, which I didn't, which was awesome. But the draft is, the draft is so heavy in these cars. I caught back up to him on the backstretch, and then I got through 3 really good. I was at his rear wing, and just the arrow push in these cars is really bad. You can try to play around with any roll bars and the weight jackers. I had a little bit of weight jacker in it, and it just wasn't enough. I should have took the high line, the second groove, just to get clean air on the front wing. It really helps the car turn. But I really just wanted to make sure I stayed on the podium and not do something stupid. I'd rather lift and keep P2 instead of push it and risk losing my right side. So.
Well, Garrett, it's like they say, right? Could have, would have, should have, but you definitely put it all on the line there on that final lap. You couldn't do anything different. So, congratulations on the P2. And before we let you go, any shout outs?
Jake kept me company. Brandon was in with us, and then unfortunately he got caught up in the melee of restarts. Ava, my girlfriend, is here. She actually came into town early, and then watched me race the entire time.
W
So,
Ava.
yeah, W Ava indeed. uh, yeah, no, when I made the pass for third, she was actually, I could see her out of the corner of my eye. She was pumping her fists. So,
Aw, that's nice.
but yeah, yeah, that's all I got. So,
All right, buddy. Well, great job on a P2 on your third ever FC debut. So great, strong run for you. And hopefully better luck next time, man.
thank you.
And that was our P2 winner. P2 race finisher, Garrett Vighton. And the number 42, unfortunately, was so close yet so far. But someone who was their pick, Sky, bring him in.
Let's bring our Muhammad Alif into the booth. Third place finisher.
Hello.
Hey, Alif.
Hello.
Hello.
All right. Congrats on the P3 that race. Kind of walk us through both that last run where you were kind of under threat from like Wyatt Burton, and then also the last lap of that race and the kind of mad scramble to get positions.
Yeah, I feel like P3 is probably the worst place to be on track. It's just because you're getting double the dirty air and then you're not getting the double amount of slipstream. So I'm just there like, oh my god, when will this end or something? So yeah, I just didn't really have the race pace. I feel quali was good. Started P1. But yeah, just didn't have the race pace to compete really. But yeah, we'll work on it. But yeah, really happy with the points. Much happier than what happened in Nashville. Nashville was just me being greedy, I feel. So this one was like, yeah, our championship rivals are behind us, so you know, bring the points in and bring the podium in. So I think that was the priority for me.
Well, I was gonna ask you, man. P3, it's still a solid run. Definitely not what you wanted. You wanted to kiss the bricks and drink that milk, but just wanted to ask, like, you were battling it out with so many people today. I mean, you had to hold off Ricky, even Garrett at points, but like, talk to me through, like, that was like just while we were focusing on the front, we did see you there jostling for positions. How was that throughout the whole race?
Yeah, that was just me being an absolute sponge, just absorbing all the attacks. Really, just placing my car in a way that kind of gives the dirty air to the others, or just tactically driving. I feel because I knew that track position was super crucial, so I was like, try to stay in third. If try to get a good run out, but if that's not possible, just try to keep the guys behind me. So there was a couple guys who were using a lot more tires. But yeah, I think we did a good job with holding them off, and yeah, just bringing home the points.
Well, it was a strong day
you got
for you.
anyone you want to thank or shout out on the broadcast tonight?
Oh yeah, just the whole road team, Akil and Lucas and Nick and Dylan for all their efforts. The whole esports program, and our oval team as well for all their efforts, and Dan and BK, who's our esports directors and assistant directors, and the whole of Ball State University.
All right, congrats on the P3 and the podium tonight, our Muhammad Alif.
Thank you. See you guys and girls.
And that will conclude the broadcast here today. We're going to take a look at our results for tonight's race, and we can kind of show you where everybody finished here. John Hagan, we know, was the race winner with Garrett Vighton of Arizona State in second. Our Muhammad Alif third from Ball State with Drew Williams. Great run through the field, fourth for Clemson. Wyatt Burton in fifth with Jordan Johnson from Kent State in sixth. Ben Fiore, road course ringer, kind of getting a great run on the oval in P7 with Lucas Moody of Ball State in eighth. Cohen Evans, another driver with a really good run, finishing ninth for Purdue at Indianapolis, and Jason Wallet of Drexel gets a solid P10.
Wow, oh wow, Jason Wall with the top 10. That's great for him. And Logan Smith outside of the top 10. P11, the number 34 for Auburn University. Alex Fernetti, 321, and the P12 for UNC Charlotte. Nick Henley for Ball State University. Rookie season debut, still going strong with the P13. Ricky Paz, East Carolina University, P14. Nick Stockner, birthday boy, made an effort to get back. P15 for Clemson. Good job for him. Thorin Thomas, P16 for Rose Human Institute of Technology. Charles Wembley, we unfortunately saw hit the wall, will end up P17 for Guilford College. Jay Cummings, tried to stay on and got a P18 recovery, so Converse University can't be too upset with that. Claire Holtzman, UNC Charlotte, P19, and P20 is Ryan Whitlock, University of Alabama, Huntsville, is going to round about our top 20, unfortunately, after that net code.
P21, another Ball State car. It's Cale Davidson, the hometown hero, couldn't quite get it done. Marlo Duncan will finish 22nd for the Milwaukee School of Engineering, with Lee Kane from Southern Mississippi in 23rd. Alan Hong, 24th for St. Clair College, with Tyler Klingensmith, 25th of Robert Morris University. Adrian Tubakovic from St. Clair will finish 26th, while Brandon Schulenberger will roll in 27th. Alexander Diamond, the alumni from Drexel, will finish 28th, with Aiken Lamar of Howard Community College in 29th, and rounding out our top 30, another Robert Morris car, it's Jonathan Egge in 30th.
And outside of our top 30, David Da Silva for Montclair State University in P31. Christian Hill, unfortunately got into that accident at Mount St. Mary's University, finishing out in P32. Dylan Beatty for Bell State University, another CLFC rookie, unfortunately out early, P33. John LaFawn for Pennsylvania College of Technology, P34. Andrew Burrow, P35 for Clemson. Troy Cammy, P36 for New England College. Esteban Munoz, unfortunately also that lap 1 incident, Florida International University, rounding about P37. And Ethan Decatur for Valparaiso University and P38. And that is our final results. Guy, what a finish. What a race. I mean, by golly, I did not expect it to be like this. But at the same time, I kind of did.
I'll tell you what, this is like the 20th, 25th race I've casted for the CIL. This is no question the best race. This was the best race. This was the best race. I think everyone in production agrees. I think everyone loved it, and I think we had a great time tonight, and that was amazing. And that's all I gotta say about it.
Yep. This is my second season doing CLFC. I mean, I've seen many different changes throughout the seasons and all that stuff, but tonight I think was the most crazy, most fun I've ever had. And obviously to commentate with you, Sky, was a real treat. So obviously it was just overall, I think was just, in my opinion, the best ever CLFC race in history. I'm calling it right now. This is the crown jewel of CIL, not just FC, but the crown jewel of all CIL series.
Bring it back. Bring it back next year. Yep.
Bring it back next year. Ricky, if you're hearing me right now,
ooh, Ricky, pause. Ricky, pause. Ooh.
Please bring it back, because this race was an absolute
Ricky,
cinema.
if you can hear me right now, bring this race back.
But Sky, let's go over about the next race schedule, because next week you and I are gonna go to Road Atlanta for the Cup Series. We're gonna go road racing in the Cup car. I hate it.
Road racing. I'm gonna crash out on lap 2.
I'm absolutely going to wreck it in turn 4, lap 36. Don't be there, or else you'll probably get wrecked out. Anyways, that's gonna be next week.
Before that.
That'll be next week, October 7th, 8:30 p.m. EST. Don't miss it, or you're gonna get a 4X in your next race. Next up, next week, we are going to the Barber Motorsports 845, October 9th, our 6th race of the CIL. So that will be that. And if maybe some of y'all were wondering about the CSC, that is later down the road. So that is going to be
FC race I would like to make a quick note is the Charger Motorsports Grand Prix of Alabama, sponsored by the University of Alabama Huntsville iRacing.
Ooh. Well, to close about I was going to say, let's close it out by saying the name one more time. This was and will always be the greatest spectacle in racing, and it was brought to you by the Get Your COVID and Flu Shots 250 at the Brickyard, presented by the Alex Halinar and Halinar Racing Team. All right, well, my closing statement, I'll go first, Sky. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. What an amazing race. I think if you guys have not enjoyed it, I don't know what you guys are going to do. Watch paint dry, because, come on! That was the most insane battling it out for the race lead all night long. It was quite insane, and I loved it.
What he said. Have a good night.